Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's happening? What's going down on this beautiful Friday? We are back in the saddle. Another edition of the Waffle House. I'm going to be your host tonight. My name is Toddy. And we are back in this thing. We are back in this thing, man. I appreciate y'all joining me. As I always ask you to do, make sure you come in. Make sure to hit that like button for your dog. That way we can jump in the algorithm as best as we can. So smash that like button for your dog. Let me know what you want from the kitchen. Y'all know the rules of the Waffle House. Let me know what you want from the kitchen. We also got some drinks back there. So if you want something to drink, let me know that as well. Also, make sure that you let me know you check it in there. Make sure to put your area code in the comment. That way I know you check it in that. Or even if you want to get somewhere, you know what I'm saying? If you right now you posted somewhere, but you're trying to be somewhere else in 6 months, you can rep that area code if you like. Don't make us no difference. I just I love to know where everybody watching from, where everybody checking in that. So welcome in, my friends. Appreciate y'all joining me. Another edition of the Waffle House. Yo, before I check into the chat, those of you who are already here right now, hopefully we'll get more people to come in. I'm gonna let you guys know who are watching already now. This is gonna be probably my one of my most unfavorable videos. This is gonna be one of my most unfavorable videos. You already see the topic. I'm not trolling, but there's some rhyme and reason, So I'm gonna try my very best to articulate my point, to make it somewhat understandable. Now, I already know, if we bring up a panel up here, I already know I'm gonna be fighting like Drake say, 20v1. I'm gonna probably be the only one with this opinion throughout this show. So I understand that. I came prepared for that also. So let's get this thing on the road. As you see the title. Now, my personal opinion, and like I said, I'm gonna try to clarify this as best as I can. Julio Jones, Atlanta Falcons legend, you know, NFL legend, Julio Jones. Now, this is something that we've been talking about throughout the week. Me personally, I don't feel like Julio Jones is a lock for first ballot Hall of Fame. I don't feel like he's a lock. Now, please let me clarify. I'm not saying that he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame, but I don't feel like he's a lock. Like when Randy Moss went in, you knew he was a lock. Jerry Rice went in, you knew he was a lock for first ballot. Barry Sanders went in, he was a lock. When Brady goes in, that's a lock first ballot. Drew Brees, there's just some players you just know, okay, that guy, he's a lock. He's going in. Now, there's a Terrell Owens situation also. He should have been a lock to go in first ballot, but we know how that played out. So, and I'm sure we'll discuss that tonight also throughout this conversation. But personally, I just don't feel like Julio is a lock. I'm not saying he won't go first ballot, but unlike most Falcons fans, I just don't feel like he's a lock. I don't feel like he's a Randy Moss lock. I don't feel like he's a Jerry Rice lock to go in. I don't feel like he's a Ray Lewis lock to go in. So that's what I mean when I say that. But hopefully, we can get a good dialogue about it, some good debate about it, because we've had some great conversations talking about it throughout the week. And I'm going to go in more detail on why and how I feel like I feel. But again, I'm not saying he's not a first ballot. I just don't feel like he's a lock. I would not be surprised if Julio had to wait 2, maybe 3 years. It would not surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And I'm going to go into details on why I feel that way And feel free to tell me that I'm crazy. You can throw tomatoes at me. You can throw onions at me. You can even throw your Waffle House food at me. You know what I'm saying? All opinions are welcome. You know, so let's get some good discussion going. And then also some good debate going on. Also, let's check out the chat real quick before we get this thing on the road. We got our dog Cool C in the building. What's up, Cool C? Represent that 770 as always. 770 strong. 770 always come in strong on the Waffle House. My dog Cool C is in the building. Appreciate you coming through, showing a bunch of love as usual. Cool C, thank you very much for checking in, bro. I do appreciate you. We got our dog Seth Thomas is in the building. What's up, Seth? Says give me that gravy and biscuits, scrambled eggs, hot sauce, blackberry jelly, and ice water with a side of orange juice. I got you coming up. Definitely got yourself. What's going down, man? Appreciate you coming through. We got our dog T. Terry is in the building. Tidy boiled eggs, pan sausage and grits, and a pineapple juice. I got you, T. Terry. What's happening with you, T. Terry? Appreciate you coming through. We got Shotty Red on the track in the building. What's going on, Red? And also, Red, stick around because when I drop the link, I definitely want you to come up because me and Red have been debating this also on social media. So he I try not to speak for people, but I'm going to try. I'm going to assume, based on the conversation that we both have had, he's saying Julio is a first ballot lock. I don't think he's a first ballot lock. So that should make for a good conversation tonight. Greg is in the building. What's going on, Greg? Appreciate you coming through, showing some love. What's happening with you, Greg? We got a dog 3 Dirty in the building. What's up, 3 Dirty? How's it going? We got the homie Millie Mills checking in. Also says I can't wait to hear this one. Because he definitely is the newer generation GOAT at wide receiver, which should make him a shoe-in. And Millie, I hate to be on this side of the debate because I'm like a huge Julio Jones fan, man. I'm like a super duper Julio fan, so I really hate to be on this side of the debate, to be honest, man. But just for the sake of debate, would you say he was better than Antonio Brown? And I know us Falcons, we always prop Julio up and always defended him in that debate. But that was always a debate when they both were in their prime. Who was the top dog? Was it Julio or was it Antonio Brown? Let's see who else we got checking in. RUA is in the building. What's happening? RUA said, Toddy, it is football season once again. Yes, indeed. Let's ring the bell for that. Football season. We actually had a football game on, and unfortunately, I missed a good bit of it. I did not get back home Thursday night to kind of late. And then I had trouble finding it on TV. So I tuned in. It was like already third quarter. But nonetheless, like RUA say, hey, it's football season. We back in this thing. Brian Peoples is in the building. What's going on, Brian? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through, showing some love. Brian says that 843 is in the building. Shout out to the entire 843. South Cackalack in the building. Shout out to the 843, the 864, and also the 803 as well. Checking in. Who else we got in? Checking in also. We got our dog Ray Ellison in the building. What's up, Toddy? Edenton, Georgia. That's 706 checking in. All right, shout out. I didn't know you was from Edenton, Ray. I did not know that. Edenton. Dr. York. We won't go into that, Ray. If you're from Edenton, I'm sure you know a lot when I say that name. But we won't go into that at all because that's a totally different show and a totally different topic. So we won't dwell into that. But shout out to Edenton, Georgia, not too far from where I am. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Edenton. Millie Mills repping that 302 Delaware in this thing. Shout out to the whole Delaware, man. What's the weather like in Delaware at this time, Millie? Because, we pushing like where I'm at in Georgia, we've been pushing like mid-90s. Late 90s. You add in the heat index, it's been feeling like 100 degrees like these last 2 months. Actually 100 plus. Greg ripping that 404 Decatur. Decatur was greater. Shout out to Ghetto Mafia also repping the deck. Yeah, I be watching Beehive and Wicked on Beehive TV. I watch that show quite often. That's one of the podcasts that I do watch the most. I like because as y'all already know, I'm a big rap fan, and they talk about a lot of older. They talk. I shouldn't say older school, but they talk a lot of my generation rap music on there. So I love to watch High and Wicked go back and forth. They have some good debates all the time as well. Red said he repping that 404 Southwest Atlanta, too strong in the building. Shout out to the whole 404, always coming in strong. Shout out to that whole 404. Killer Mike just released the album also today. Yes, I think it's called Sinners and Saints, if I remember correctly, something to that extent. I gave it a few spins. Also today, I spent it about 2.5 times going through the entire album. I'm sure y'all don't want my review of it, but I'm going to give it to you real quick. I don't know if it was by design, but it sounded like a deluxe issue, a deluxe edition of the of the Grammy Award winning Michael album, which was a extraordinary album that Killer Mike released last year in 2023. It sounded like a deluxe edition of that album, or even a part two. In fact, there are at least two songs, it might be three, where he does the song again with some additional uh, vocals or lyrics added to the songs. But it really just sounded like he was playing off that. Now it could change once I sit on it a little bit longer. But my first few spins, if you're a Killer Mike if you were a Killer Mike fan, pardon me, you will like the album if you were a Killer Mike fan. But by no surprise from what I've heard thus far, it does not match the magic that he found in that Michael album. I even called that Michael album the modern day version of Goody Mob Soul Food. That Michael album is so special, spiritual, and powerful. And it seemed to me that, like, I don't want to use chasing because then it seems like I'm trying to throw a little shade, but it seems like he was kind of chasing that sound or the magic of that album. It didn't get there. It's still a good project, still a good album, but so far to me, it fell well short of Michael, and it really seemed like that's where he was reaching to get to that Michael album, and just to reach that emotion, and just really, I keep using the word magic, but to reach the magic that he found in that Michael album, again, 3-time Grammy award winning album. I think he won some BET awards also, and I'm sure he won a lot of awards that I'm not mentioning. It just falls short. Now there is a track on there with Key Glock and Project Pat from Memphis. Oh no, now that thing go off. Project Pat, hey, he still can. Project Pat still got that style and that twang. He still can get on the mic and tee up your song. So I think that's the last track on the song, or it's next to the last track on the song. There are really no big name features on this that I can remember. Like last album, we got Scientists and Engineers with Andre 3000 that won a Grammy also. Andre is not on this album. Big Boy is not on this album. I really don't think nobody from Dungeon Family is on this album. But again, if you're a Killer Mike album, I keep saying album. If you're a Killer Mike fan, you will like the album without a doubt. It just seems like he was reaching for that sound and that magic of the Michael album, and it just feels short. But sorry for getting off course, but I felt the need to share that with y'all. T. Terry says, Tidy, right on point. Not a lot. Okay, I got one supporter. Red, you hear that? I got somebody, at least one person in the audience that's going to have my back, because I know I'm going to be fighting for my life tonight on this subject. I know I'm entering dangerous territory, so I'm gonna probably be fighting for my life tonight. But T. Terry got my back. Appreciate you, T. Terry. Millie Mill says, I think he is tired because he never had any drama in his career. Now that's an interesting perspective to look at. if we're gonna include like the off the field stuff or locker room aspect of it, then yeah, I could agree with you on that. Because it did seem to me that Antonio Brown was like a headache to deal with. Um, and the funny thing about that too, Millie, I remember back in the day when they both were in their prime. I know I've talked to various Falcons fans, and some of them would sometimes tell me like, Toddy, I wish Julio was more like Antonio Brown. I wish he did have that edginess in him, that asshole attitude and those antics, but he don't have that in him. That was not a majority, but I occasionally would come across people who said they wish Julio did have a little more of that in him. Uh, Brian says, by the way, let me get that Texas cheese steak melt with a bowl of grits and a side of bacon. Order up. I got you, Brian. We got you coming up. Definitely got you coming up, man. Got you. Let me know if you want a drink also. We got our bro James Holloway's in the building. James, what's going on with your big dog? How we feeling? How we doing, bro? Appreciate you coming through, man. Red says first ballot lock, baby. Oh yeah, we gonna get into it tonight. We gonna get into it tonight, man. I came prepared. Red, I came prepared, man. So we're gonna definitely chop it up. Brian says that 404 is in this thing once again. 404 ripping strong like the 404 always do. Shout out to Fulton County. Shout out to the heart of the city, Atlanta, Georgia. You know, all the zones in Atlanta. Shout out to the whole town in the building. Killing the building, checking in. What's going on? Keely, excuse me, appreciate you coming through. Check it in, bro. He says, I understand your rationale, but I think he gets in. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm sure he's gonna get in. My argument is first ballot. I just don't know if he's a first ballot guy. I'm sure he'll get in. You know, I'm positive that he definitely will get in the hall, but I just don't think he's a first ballot lock, like some of the other players that I mentioned earlier. T. Terry says AB was the man. Yeah, Antonio Brown was good. I used to try to not give him all his credit because, like I say, you know, I would rock with Julio back back when the argument was going on. So I wasn't trying to get Antonio Brown no props. And then you got to deal with the obnoxious Steelers fans too. You know, they was propping him up, and then there's so many Steelers fans that live in Georgia. So I used to try to undervalue Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown's a bad boy, man. Got to give him his props. Miller says AB is more compared to D Hop. To me, Julio in a category of his own. Okay, got you. So are you saying, we say category of his own, are you saying that you got Julio higher on the totem pole than you got like Megatron, Calvin Johnson? Like who do you got higher on the totem pole? Brian People says, I'm actually more intrigued with the new kickoff rule. We discussed that when I was on live last, I think Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, I'm interested to see it. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I think you got to notify the officials that you're about to do an onside kick. Think what else is you can only do it when you're down. And you can only do it in the fourth quarter. Yeah, so I wonder what the rhyme and reason for that is. Are they trying to cut down the injuries? I don't know. You know, the NFL always throw a curveball new rule in there every off season after the owners meeting. So we'll see how that works out. Brian says also me and John Abraham from the same town. Okay, shut up. What town is that? I know my boy Roddy White from South Carolina. Also, I think Roddy is from Charleston or North Charleston. I always get it messed up. I think it might be North Charleston. Yeah, shout out to you and also Abe. Red said Falcons fan in Delaware, small world. Man, we got fans everywhere, bro. I mean, everywhere. You know, we have had, now we haven't won any Super Bowls, but you know, we've had some impactful players in franchise history, man. You know, so we got fans everywhere, man. Coach is in the building. Shout out to Coach checking in with the coaching corner. So Julio Jones is the first ballot, but Matt Ryan isn't. I don't think Matt, and I'm sure when you come up, Coach, we'll talk about this, but I'm sure Matt isn't first ballot, in my opinion. And again, I don't think Julio is a lock to be first ballot. I don't think Julio's a lock. But yeah, we'll discuss it. We'll chop it up, man. We'll talk about it. Ray says Javon Bullock, parents are from here. He just went to school in Miller. Shout out to Millerville, Baldwin County in the building. Shout out to the entire Baldwin County in the building. Man, we used to play ball against Baldwin County in high school, man. Them cats was kind of rugged. They're kind of rugged. I'm trying to be nice when I say that, but them cats were kind of rugged, man. Cats in Baldwin County, they were thugging early, man. they were thugging for they were thugging and game banging before it came fashionable in Georgia, man. But shout out to Millerville, man. Shout out to my boy Robert Roach. I remember playing football against Robert Roach also. But you say Javon Bullock parents are from here. He just went to school in Millerville. Also, you're definitely right about Dr. York. The Niners were off the chain. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, man. We'd have to talk about that Dr. York on a totally different podcast, man. Totally different subject. We didn't have to talk about that on a totally different channel. You know what I mean? But you talking about a can of worms. Oh my Lord, boy, that's a huge can of worms there, man. Yeah, we gotta talk about that somewhere else, boy. Whoa. Miller says we got the same weather here, 90 plus down there every day until September. Then it goes down here from there. But occasionally we get an 83, 85 degree day. Okay, so yeah, that's similar weather here. Very similar to what we get. Probably the only difference is we just get, of course, that southern hemisphere humidity that Georgia's known for. And these aggravating ass mosquitoes, man. Last year, I don't know what was up last year, but like the mosquitoes went mess with me last year. I don't know if I was outside less or what it was, but this year it seemed like time I step outside, they be attacking, man. I don't know. I guess they're getting a get back from last year when they went that active with me. And I read somewhere that your blood type could have something to do with that also in regards to how often mosquitoes mess with you. I don't know how true that is, but I did read that somewhere. T. Terry says Key Sweat new hit is the old ones the number one. I didn't know that, man. I hadn't heard a Key Sweat song in so long, bro. But Key Sweat was the man in the 90s, man. I remember my high school girlfriend. What song was it? Was it Merry Go Round? That came out when I was in 12th grade. Man, she loved that song, man. I'm talking about anytime she tried to put that on. Shout out to Sharika also. That's my high school flame. She loved that song. I'm sure she'll never see this, but if she do, what's up, Reek? False Start in the building. What's up, False Start? Says, what's up, T? I'm late. The kitchen's still open. Kitchen definitely open for you, big dog. What you need? My order's the same: peanut butter waffle, jalapeno edge, 2 sausages. I got your order up. Appreciate you coming through. Also, False Start, man. Appreciate it. We got that food coming in also for you as well. Cool C says, I'll start with a cold burr. Gotcha, Cool C. We got you. TW in the building. What's happening, TW? He's a Hall of Famer now. Later, old Kirkwood represents. Shout out to Kirkwood. Shout out to East Atlanta also. I love hanging out at East Atlanta Village, man. Like I'm a real deal. I'm a real deal weirdo. So I like going to the farmers market they have, I think, every Wednesday in East Atlanta Village. They got a little, I forget the name of it, but they got a little spot, a little cigar bar right there at the corner. I go in there and smoke some cigars. I love going to Little 5 Points, just people watch, I like hanging out at all the weirdo / hippie spots when I'm in the city. Lamar, South Carolina. Okay, shout out to Lamar. South Carolina is in the building. Let's see, Rusty Moore Jr. What's up, Rusty? Ain't seen you in the building in a minute, man. What's been going on? Hope everything been going good with you, bro. Says, what's up, Tyler? Been off the grid. Yeah, I noticed. Like I said, I ain't seen you in a minute. Been off the grid a while. I recently really got into betting on UFC and boxing. Football gets so boring after the draft, but it's about that time again. Expectations are high this year. Let's effing go. Let's get it. Good luck to you on that betting, man. I was thinking about doing a little betting on football this year. I will bet. I ain't gonna say that I'm not a gambler because I gamble now. I gamble, but as far as the online gambling, I really ain't got into that too too tough. I was thinking about trying to explore that more this year. So, um, but I'm glad to see you back. Welcome back, Rusty. We're about a month away from the season, so we're all very much anticipating it. So, y'all, this is some of the reason. And like I say, I'm about to drop the link. We'll further this discussion. But some of the reason I think Julio Jones isn't a lock. I'm not saying he's not one. I'm not saying he's not a first ballot walk, but some of the reason I think he's not a lock is because the lack of touchdowns. That's one reason. I think Julio right now has I think he has 66 total receiving touchdowns. Let me see. Let me look at his. Yeah, 66 receiving touchdowns now in 13 years. For a receiver of his caliber, that is extremely low. And there are 7 wide receivers who have made first team. I'm saying first team, first ballot Hall of Famer. Since they've been doing the Hall of Fame, there's only 7 of them. There are actually only 92 players total, y'all, who have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and only 7 of those are wide receivers. And outside of who was it? I think it was Raymond Berry. I think it was his name. Let me look it up. I think it was, but outside of a guy who started playing football in 1955, before any of us was even thought of, outside of that one player, there is not a wide receiver who has been inducted into the Hall of Fame who has less than 83 receiving touchdowns. And that gentleman's name was Raymond Berry. So with the exception of Raymond Berry, who started playing in 1955, 75 years ago, almost damn near 100 years ago. So you can imagine they were playing a totally different style of football. Of course, there was not a lot of passing going on like we have in today's game. But with the exception of him, there has not been a wide receiver inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame as a first ballot inductee with less than 83 touchdowns. Since 1990, there have been none, more modern era football. The player with the least amount would be the most recent first ballot inductee, who's Calvin Johnson. He has 83, if memory serves me correct. I think he has 83 receiving touchdowns. And I think Calvin played, 9 years, I think. And Julio is sitting at 66. And that guy that I referenced earlier has the same amount of receiving touchdowns as Julio does. And he started playing in 1955. So I think the lack of touchdowns could be a contributing factor of him having to wait a year, 2 years, possibly 3 years to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. The touchdowns just aren't there. So I just can't say with 100% certainty, like I can say for Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, hey, first ballot guy when he goes in. I can't say that for Julio. I can't just say, well, he's a lock. Not only that, these last 3 years for Julio Jones have been bad football. And y'all don't get this twisted. Julio is my guy. Julio my guy. I'm a big Julio Jones fan. Big fan of Julio. He my guy. But these last 3 years, man, hey, bro, you tarnishing your legacy, and I think it gets to the point, these voters gonna start to look. They're like, look now, we'll give everybody a little leniency when you get in the twilight of your career. But when you got 3, 4 just consecutive piss poor years, all right, now we gonna start looking at that when we start talking about these votes. Julio, we're gonna start looking at that. And to me, as a big Julio fan, I really would love to see Julio retire tomorrow because I don't like to see him tarnish his legacy. I don't like to see the records that he did once hold in terms of efficiency as a wide receiver, start to dwindle and drop. The numbers start to drop. At one point, he had the highest receiving yards per game average in the NFL, and now I think he's second. I think he's lost that now. And it just has been bad football these last 3 years from Julio. And don't get me wrong, I know injuries slowed him down. They slowed him down his final year in Atlanta. With him only starting 9 total games and only getting 771 receiving yards, only 3 touchdowns. The last time Julio Jones, speaking of touchdowns, the last time Julio Jones had more than 6 receiving touchdowns was in 2018. So we're going on about 6 years now. 2018, he had 8 touchdowns. 2019, 6 touchdowns. 2020, 3 touchdowns. 2001, 1 touchdown. 2022, 2 touchdowns. 2023, 3 touchdowns. So as you look at his career, you see the peak years, like, oh man, couldn't nobody mess with Julio. Then you see a bunch of numbers at the bottom was like, hey, what happened? And the thing about it also, like, Julio's his fall off in terms of production, they came relatively early in his career. It came relatively early. After the age of 30, Julio fell off the map for the very most part. At the age of 31, that was his final year in Atlanta. That was the 771 receiving yards year for Julio. 3 touchdowns. He was. I'm not saying he was a spring chicken, but like 31 ain't that. It ain't that old in the NFL. It ain't like running back old. All the other past greats that we compare Julio Jones to, y'all, at 31, they still was out there cooking, straight up. The mother greats, they 31 years old, they still out there cooking. Randy was still out there cooking at 31. They all T.O. was still out there cooking at 31. But Julio fell off at 31. So when you talk first ballot, again, there's only been 7 of them guys voted in. There's only been 7. And I just don't know if that 6-year span that he had when he was dominant would be enough to get him in. Now, to be fair, they are going to look at his playoff performances, and Julio was damn good in the playoffs. Huh? Those lights got bright. Julio came to ball. I'm going to give him all due credit. So that's going to help his case. But I'm just not sure it's going to be enough. He has, let's look at the accomplishment side. 7-time Pro Bowler. That's great. 2-time first team All-Pro. That's pretty good too. But the touchdowns, they are alarming. 66. There are a lot of other all-time great wide receivers, y'all, who did not go first ballot. Who put up, I'm gonna be straight up, who put up better numbers. They put up better numbers. You put them resume to resume, you're like, oh, what, you didn't go first ballot? Oh. Now, Megatron Calvin Johnson, he had a kind of short career, modern era. But he got over 80 touchdowns. He found a way to get in the end zone as a receiver. Calvin retired with 83 receiving touchdowns. How many years did he play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 9 seasons. So on average, that's like what, 9 point something touchdowns per season. Calvin had 1, 2, 3. Out of 9 years, 4 of those years, Calvin was double-digit touchdowns. 2008, he had 12. 2010, he had 12. 2011, 16. 2013, 12. And just going off how these voters have been voting lately, y'all, I don't know. Again, I know the writers obviously did not like Terrell Owens, but I mean, was Terrell that bad where you cannot put him in first ballot and allow Julio to go in first ballot when Terrell Owens obviously has a much, much better resume? I'm looking at all that too. Yeah, T.O. was an asshole, but I mean, was he that big of an asshole? Where you can allow Julio Jones to go in, and Terrell Owens got like double the amount of touchdowns that Julio got. So this, along with other things, guys, it just makes me wonder. Like, I don't think he's a lot. I don't think he's a lot to go in. I really don't. I don't think he's a lot. So I'm gonna continue to tell y'all why I don't think he's a lot and make my case. And I'm going to drop the link and let anybody who want to come in here make your case. Or if you say, well, Toddy, this is why he's a lot, we'll hear you out. And I don't expect nobody to be on my team on this one. You know, I expect this to be a 20v1. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to have to be like Drake. I'm about to battle everybody. But I don't think you're locked, y'all. It's a lot of good receivers, y'all, that didn't go first ballot, man. It's a lot of them, and I haven't even brought out all my ammunition. I'm gonna save a little of my ammo, but I'm telling you, when you dig into these numbers, man, he ain't a lot. I don't think he's a lot. So let me drop this link here. And anytime that link gets dropped, that's free for anybody that want to come up, man. So if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to come on up. So I just dropped the link in there. But yeah, y'all, I don't think he's a lot, man. And again, I'm not saying he will not be a first ballot. I just don't think he's that bona fide lock. Like, okay, you know Julio going first ballot. You know he going first ballot. You knew when Moss retired, I was like, ain't no doubt about it. Moss first ballot, Canton. No doubt about it. I don't feel like Julio is there. I feel like Julio could possibly wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, y'all. Them touchdowns, questionable, man. So, you know, let me bring some people on stage here and get some other opinions. We're going to bring in Coach from the Coach's Corner. We're going to bring in Armani. We're going to bring in also El Jefe as well. How y'all doing?
What's up, bro?
What up? Okay, so I assume everybody has been watching. So I want to have the floor next to make your case. You got it.
Well, I agree with you, bro. Like, I don't even think he'll get in, to be quite honest with you. Like, period.
Coach, you can't carry it away, Coach. Keep going, my bad.
Nah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Terry Holt not in. Terry Holt got rings. You know what I'm saying? Andre Rison not in. Andre Rison got rings. You know what I'm saying? So
he got a ring as a special teamer, though.
I keep hearing about how these rings matter so much. So with that being said, I don't think he'll get in. But yeah, that's just me.
Damn, coach, I wasn't gonna take it that far now.
I mean, it's you know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely not a lock, and it's definitely not a guarantee. Like you said, he don't have touchdowns. Like he don't have an impressive resume. So
I do think he has an impressive resume, but compare, and I say this already, but when you compare his resume to a lot of these guys who went in first ballot, it's not as strong as I think Falcons fans think it is when you compare him to the other first ballots, and you also consider the eras that they played in. You know, Steve Largent found a way to put up 100 touchdowns, man. You know, and it seemed like he did it quietly. He just consistently scored the football. You know, we were all privy to watch Megatron play. We, you know, I don't know, Armani, your ass kind of young, but we all saw Moss, what he did, you know. So, but yeah, whoever want to go next, my bad, y'all.
yeah,
I mean, looking at the numbers, man, Julio getting in, man. Julio getting in. I just don't understand where. I mean, the touchdowns might not be there, but the Pro Bowls, fastest receiver,
five-time All-Pro.
Five-time All-Pro.
Torrey Holt, 7-time All-Pro.
No, he's a 2-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Right. 7-time Pro Bowler. My bad.
Trying to get Torrey Holt some added accolades.
My bad. He right. He Pro Bowler. My fault.
I mean, Julio has, when he was in his prime, man, he was at the top of his game. I mean, it was Julio and AB, then it was like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Every year.
That's 1A, then 1B, and then everybody else. So I just don't understand. Over they're gonna put him in. I don't think they're gonna slide him over not over touchdowns. I mean, because he's the fastest receiver to what 10,000 yards or something of that nature. So I mean, I just don't understand how he doesn't get in. And we don't judge.
Let me say this, Armani, not because really, I mean, Coach did say that, but really the topic is he a lock to go first ballot?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach did wild and he shifted.
Yeah,
I ain't wild. I'm speaking facts.
He's a lot to go first ballot. I just don't see how he doesn't. And no, I was replying to Coach saying that he might not get in. I'm like, he's one of the best receivers to ever play. I just don't understand how he doesn't get in, or how he doesn't go first ballot, let alone how doesn't he get in.
Again, I say with that, look at Torrey Holt. He's a Super Bowl winner, and he's not in.
Well, I think as an individual career, he had a better.
They don't judge Super Bowl, championships. They only judge that hard for quarterbacks. To me, everybody else doesn't get that hard of a charge.
So I keep hearing it's ring that's gonna keep Matt Ryan out, or Matt Ryan don't have an impressive resume. This, that, and third.
And I'm telling you, they judge it differently. That's just reality. Okay. That's just the reality. They judge it differently.
Okay. I mean, unfair or unfair, quarterbacks are graded on a different curve than everybody else.
Receivers are dependent position, coach. So you can't judge the receiver the same as your quarterback.
Yeah, they get all the credit and they get all the blame. I mean, that comes with being the big man on campus.
And they make the most money. So, I mean, I think that's fair.
Case in point, Travis. Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt, both of them second guys on championship caliber. If you want to call them dynasties, if you want to look at the Colts as a dynasty or the Rams as a dynasty, Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, both second tier guys on both of those squads.
But were they ever regarded as top three in their era? Like, were they ever regarded as top three receivers in their era?
I don't know how they could, because they were both number 2 on their team. It was always Harrison and Bruce that was going to be mentioned before those two. So
Yeah.
And Harrison is in.
right,
I think Harrison is in.
first ballot.
Wait,
So
well, hold on.
no, Harrison is not first ballot. He's not first
He's
ballot.
He
not.
didn't go first ballot.
You would think he was.
I thought he was.
So here's what I will say, and
I thought that
this
Caldwell
surprised
made
me.
him first.
This surprised me. I actually changed my mind. I agree with Titan.
Oh, got Keely to come over to the dark side.
But here's the thing. I'm not agreeing that he won't go in first ballot. I'm agreeing with you that it's not a lock that he will go in first ballot.
That's
But I do not think it's because of the TDs. I don't think they're so heavily, just like I said with Matt, I don't think they're so heavily reliant on. Because keep in mind, this is subject. These are people who are voting. They're not machines who just plugging stuff in. Like these are voters. And like I just got finished listening to an interview of another Hall of Fame voter who had an opinion on another Falcon. But they're not so heavy. They're not so.
Not you, Keely.
I'm saying that the case that this particular voter made is that, I mean, they take some of these stats with a grain of salt because of the era in which they play, and it's like all the numbers are juiced up because of the rule changes and whatnot. So they take the numbers with a grain of salt for a lot of. I don't think they're going to be so much. I don't think the issue is going to be necessarily his touchdown numbers. It's just that it's so rare. That is why I say it's not a lot. Not because the touchdown number. I don't think the touchdown number is the big thing, because if you can make a case for someone to get in with only 60-some touchdowns, then you can make a case for Julio to get in with just 60-some touchdowns. Like you said, the Raymond Berry guy, he's only got 2 more touchdowns than Julio. But I just agree with you in the sense that it's not a lot. It's not, just mark it down. He's definitely getting in, but it's just not a lot.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm at with it. I just like Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Brady, Aaron Rodgers. We all okay, those are a lot.
Thank you, Sean.
Julio got that same cachet with him.
So and here's the other thing. I would say that, like, I think we get caught up on the numbers, but the voters know who was the guy. Like you just said, we knew Aaron Rodgers was the guy. We knew Peyton Manning was the guy. So regardless of what Julio numbers came out in the wash, they knew he was one of the 2 best during that era. He was one of the 2 best. The argument between him or AB.
Right.
I never heard anyone put Hopkins above him. I never heard anyone put anybody else above those 2 during that era. So regardless of the numbers, we were witness to these are the 2 best that's on the field. Just like how we looked at Megatron and we was like, ain't nobody guarding him. There's not a secondary that's safe. Just like when we saw Moss come in the league, we were like, hey, ain't nobody stopping that man from getting in. we saw it.
That's my argument, Titan. Like, it's going off on our money. And Keely said, during their era, for that little time span you mentioned, it was always them 2 as the best in the league. And that's how I judge Hall of Famers. Were you the best at your position for any time during your career, or at least for multiple years during your career? And Julio was the best in the league multiple years and then some.
Like 3 or 4 years.
At least a 6 to 7 year span. And let me piggyback off something Millie Mills said to add to my argument. Julio was a nice guy. He didn't cause no trouble. It's not going to be anybody in the media with a grudge out for him to try to keep him out for any reason. You know what I'm saying? When they look at Julio, all they're going to be thinking about, he was the best of his era. He didn't cause no trouble. He didn't bother nobody. Like you say, the touchdowns are a little low, but if all
he made it NFL decade team. That man made it all decade team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was on the all decades team. He had multiple all pros, 7, 8 Pro Bowl selections, and like Keely said, when his name come up to be discussed or to be presented, those guys know Julio was the man. They know it was Julio and AB doing the area. So, like I say, I'm just trying to find a reason. Unless he just comes up into a crowded class that year where you still have Torrey Holt yet to get in, Richard Wayne yet to get in, and I guess somebody might want to go ahead and put those guys in before Julio. But if that's not an issue when he's up, and there are hardly no other lock or cinches that's going, Julio's gonna get in when his time is up because they're gonna see the name Julio Jones. Julio Jones, one of the best receivers of his era, didn't cause no trouble. Plenty of
to
numbers.
put it in perspective, out of 10 years he's played, he's been to the Pro Bowl 7 times.
Fastest to 12,000 yards.
70% of the time you go into the Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro,
13 years on money.
All 2010
years.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
You think
why
for the foul?
10 years on here then?
You forgot the year he left the foul.
I'm gonna tell you something that I think that probably
Oh,
helped.
okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, I see it.
That 6-year run, because the fact that it's consecutive like that, I think that was the first time in NFL history where he had that, when you had a run like that with that minimum amount of receiving yards. Yeah,
Like
I think that helps him because it was a streak. Because it was a streak, it was consecutive years. I think that helps him.
Didn't he have like a streak of 1,400 yards?
It was like 6 years straight. That's what I'm saying.
It was technically it was 5, but he fell 6 yards short for making 6.
And the thing what's crazy about that is, and I always tell people this, when you take the average over that 6-year span, that the average yard came out like 1,530, something like that. It was more than like the leading receiving yards for like 4 or 5 different years for other receivers. Because I think, what's the guy who just left Buffalo and went to Houston?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
Diggs. The minute that Julio the streak broke or whatever, Diggs was the leading receiver, and his total for the season was less than Julio's average over the entire 6-year streak. Like his average.
Yeah, he got some real impressive numbers, and I mean, you just looking at you would have to me, you would be petty to just look at the touchdowns and use that as not you, Ty. I'm not saying you petty. I'm saying, but the voters.
Yeah,
you would have
petty.
like a petty voter or something like to look at. Okay, he got all the numbers, all the accolades. He's a straight up guy, good character guy, and then we're gonna leave him out because he only got 66 touchdowns playing with that noodle arm Matt Ryan. Please, they ought to hold some penalty to Matt Ryan for the fact that Julio got 66 touchdowns. That's why Matt Ryan ass ain't going in first ballot, because he was responsible for Julio only having 66 touchdowns.
There you go.
Stacker, you know what?
Hey, he said it.
But to piggyback off what Keela was saying, like to me the touchdowns are evident, but that's another reason that I was on this side of the fence, because when I started researching this, I'm like, they hardly ever put receivers in first ballot, man. It's only 7 of them, and you got to think receiver is a position where you got at least 2 on the field to start the game, sometimes 3, depending on the scheme that you're running. So it's a position that's in abundance, and you telling me that's only 7 made it. And much respect to Julio, I'm a big Julio fan, but in order to put him in, you're gonna shun a lot of other great receivers, a lot of them who didn't go first ballot. And I just don't know if they're gonna set that precedent for a guy who I feel like just got question marks. I didn't feel like Moss had no question marks. I didn't feel like Rice had no question marks. But all right, this some of my ammo I was holding back. Marvin Harrison. You really could tell me that Julio deserves to go in first ballot and Marvin Harrison don't?
So that's my question for you, Toddy. You think if you were a DB lining up, you think Marvin Harrison is a better receiver than Julio?
I'd rather deal with Marvin Harrison because Marvin Harrison not big like Julio, and he ain't as fast as Julio.
Like when we think of these
great, deal with him. You rather deal with him on the field.
I'd rather guard Marvin Harrison.
I think it depends on the type of cornerback.
On the field, not off the field.
I think we some of these receivers, Ty, that you're saying some of these great receivers in history, I think we might be underselling Julio because we're saying all these great receivers that didn't get in first ballot. A lot of them, we have this romanticized thought of them like, oh, they're great receivers, but Julio literally might be a better receiver than some of these guys that we're thinking about. Like how Coach was thinking about
Torrey Holt. You know why, Keelan? Because they all act like all these receivers that we thinking about, they all act like such divas, and they all think they the greatest. But in reality, like we saying, they really not, and Julio really is. But they all act like divas, so they all act like they the best.
Like, because what I'm saying is like, so in my head, on first thought, I'm thinking Torrey Holt. Oh yeah, that's the guy. But to y'all brought the point, he wasn't even the first option on his team, and I had to sit back and think about it.
But he still had comparable numbers. That's the point. He had comparable to better numbers.
But coach, how many times did the number one DB? How many times did the Deion Sanders of that secondary line up across from him versus Isaac Bruce?
Probably not many.
That's why you can't sit there and compare the two.
Yeah, you definitely can.
DB every game. That's a lot.
Julio get the best DB, and he get two other DBs that got the guard.
They're not rolling coverage to Holt side. That's dead. They covered the Bruce before Holt.
Who did Reeves go over to? That's what I'm saying. Who did Reeves? Who did Patrick Peterson? Who did those number one corners go over in the corner? So
yeah,
to my point, as far as what Ty was saying, to what Ty was saying when he was saying there's a lot of great receivers who didn't go. My argument is some of those great receivers, honestly, they didn't have Julio's resume, and they weren't as good as Julio. I mean, they weren't. We think of them in a positive light, but some of them weren't.
But let me ask you this, Keelan. When you talent wise, it's hard to disagree with that. But as we all know, talent don't solely do it. You still got to have the accomplishments and the resume in order to get in. And when you look at Marvin Harrison's resume and his numbers, I'm sitting here like, if Harrison didn't go first ballot, Julio will have it. He ain't gonna be a lot to go in. When you just sit here and you look at Marvin Harrison numbers,
had arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Throwing him the ball.
Play with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, you got to add context when you talking about it.
That man is a sheriff. That man is a machine.
That offense they was running for Harrison too.
Not to shade Matt, but Matt.
I mean, you can shade Matt. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not.
Yeah, he ain't Peyton.
Well, let me ask this to y'all. So did Jerry Rice. He had two of them at one time, but I don't think we could just dismiss what Harrison did in the NFL. We're talking about a 8-time Pro Bowler, Julio's 7-time. We're talking about a 3-time first-team All-Pro, Julio's 2-time. I think he also has 6 All-Pros in total. Julio has 5. He has 1,102 receptions. Julio has, let me go to Julio, 914. In regards to yards, he has 14,580 total yards. Julio has 13,700 and change.
And what's the big one? What's the big one, Toddy?
I'm gonna get to it. Touchdowns. Harrison has 128. Julio has 66. I get it. We get it. We understand that part. He also has
50 touchdowns in a year, bud.
He also has that Dun Dada Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
and y'all, trust me, I get it. He had Peyton Manning, but when you put all that on the table, you mean to tell me Julio Jones with not a better resume, no Super Bowl, you really can put him in over a guy like Marvin Harrison who did not get in? And I get it. One had Matt, one had Peyton. I get it. We can't change that.
Who is he going? You got to think about it too. Who is he going in with?
That's a good question because he ain't retired yet.
No, I'm just saying. We got to take somebody got to go first. Somebody got to go first ballot.
Harrison probably
Somebody
should
gotta
have
go.
been first ballot. It's more so that Harrison probably should have been first ballot.
Keely, that's what I'm saying, dog. When I'm
Look, I
looking at
agree.
when I'm
that was my
researching it,
argument.
I'm like,
That was my
But
bro.
Titus,
argument.
but
That was my
Titus,
argument.
who was Harrison up against that first year he was
I'm about to look
eligible?
now.
Yeah,
That's
look
what I'm
it
saying.
up.
Because that it could have been so many folks that they said, "Okay, Harrison, we know you should go in first ballot."
But you
But
know
these
what?
Man,
Hold
guys,
on.
y'all gotta
Hold on. Hold
take
on.
your fan hat off, man. Take your fan hat off. He not
No, but
going
here's my
first
question.
ballot.
Here's my question. Was he eligible for the Hall of Fame around that time of the shooting?
Now that's a good question because he had that stuff going on.
oh
Even though
no, that was kind of over with at the time because I thought they were gonna bring that up when his time came up, and that didn't hold him back. Well, I guess it held him back from first ballot, but it didn't hold him back
That's why
completely.
I'm asking. We can't confirm that they held back, but I mean that was kind of a thing that
I'm thinking that first year he was eligible, it was a lot of folks that probably had that was should have got in earlier, and they just went ahead and put them in and just made Harrison wait a year because there was a backlog of folks that should have already got in. But I'm
All right,
saying the backlog is decreasing now to where we really gonna get the real folks that going in because other than Wayne and Holt, ain't no other receivers waiting around to get in.
all right, and
So
also
by the time,
and I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Red. While our money looking up that data for us, we done hit our 1 hour mark, so y'all know what time it is. 3-word Monty. I think everybody on the panel has played this before, so I don't think we got to go over how we do it. We always start at the very top, so we're gonna start with our money. I'm gonna say a person, place, or thing. 3 words or less. Give us the first 3 words come to mind. This is rapid fire, no explanation. It don't have to be 3 words, but we prefer 3 words. Hence the name 3-word Monty. Our money, you are on deck. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Sha'Carri Richardson.
Man, speed.
There you go. I love that.
That's a good one.
Still our tagline on it.
Hey, real quick, did they race today?
Yeah,
When-
early in
Yes,
the
sir.
morning.
Oh, it was this
They
morning.
raced yesterday. They raced
Yeah,
yesterday.
early in the morning.
Oh,
this
okay. I'm about to have to look it up. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
All right, Keely.
Yo,
Frank's hot sauce.
don't use it.
Man, you slipping, man. That was a great answer, though.
No,
All right.
I use that trapeze bull.
Ooh, that's that hard code. That's not on some collard greens. You can't get nothing better than trapeze. All right, next up, I think that's Winston. Is that you next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Winston?
So Winston.
Being that quiet? Ooh, shot.
So you got
Fighting to stay up.
running. You got running of the Bulls.
Get out the way.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. All right. In the middle, I think we got James. James, that's you in the middle?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. James, you got William Moore.
William Moore.
As in Willie Moore?
Yeah, Willie Moore.
Yeah,
William Moore. Underrated in my opinion.
That's a good one. And I agree with you too.
Yeah.
All right, Red. This should be fun to hear you say. Dan Quinn.
Glad he gone.
All right, Coach. Ted Turner.
Damn. Man, I don't know what to say about that.
Brave James.
Gave us TNT. I don't know what the hell to say to that.
We'll take that. Gave us TNT. That's a good one.
He shouldn't have sold up teams either.
I sure agree with you on that.
Shouldn't have.
All right, our money.
Nope.
All right, this is probably out your age demographic, but I think this person is big enough where you can answer it. MC Hammer.
You said 3 words? Nah, because what I want to say is 4 words. Always on one.
Always on one. All right.
Straight.
All right, Keely. Skip Bayless.
Be nice, Keely.
Big ass hater.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
All right, Winston.
Yep.
Niagara Falls.
Whole lot of water.
That's a great one. All right, James. Mohammed Sanu.
Great Falcons pickup.
Yeah, you right. You're absolutely correct too.
Yeah. You're right about
That's
that.
a good one. All right, Red. Arch Manning.
Oh, could have been at UGA.
Please come here. Damn.
All right, Coach. Almond Milk.
It's really good.
That's a good one. I like it. All right, Armani.
Yes, sir.
I hope you can answer this one. Lenox Mall.
Oh yeah, I can't answer that one. That's before my time.
The mall still there. What are you talking about?
Still here.
Oh, Lennox Mall. My bad.
You say Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah. Something. Yeah, something always going on.
There you go.
You right too.
It used to be like that.
I thought you said a person. My bad.
You probably think of Lennox Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Keely. Deep sea fishing.
Never ever been.
Dig it. And the
You
final
know,
one.
I thought you were about to say deep blue sea for a minute.
Cool J.
And the final one will be for you, Winston. This is an easy one. There's somebody we always talking about. Arthur Blank.
Coolest owner ever.
I dig it, and I want to thank the panel, everybody. That's all this week's 3-word Monty. All right, so getting back to the Julio discussion, I think our money was going to get us some data. If you got it, yep. All right, we ready.
So for the Marvin Harrison went in the class of 2016. His classmates were Tony Dungy, Brett Favre, Kevin Green, Orlando Pace, Dick Stanfield, Ken Stabler, and Eddie DeBardo.
Oh, he has some dogs.
You want to see? Then you want to look at 2015. That's just why he didn't get in first ballot.
Yeah. See who got in 2015. See why didn't he get in?
I got you.
He still that still was a nice class right there, Coach. Man.
Oh yeah, it was. Ooh.
So the shooting happened in 2000 and or the 2009 I just saw, which was right when he retired.
At college.
The Marvin Harrison shooting.
I didn't even know he got shot. He got shot?
No, he was the shooter.
He did the shit. Well, somebody that known around his circle did the shooting.
No, they said he was a trigger man. Buddy pointed directly at him.
I know. Why nobody ever talk about that TV? He got away with practically shooting the guy in the damn car wash, and nobody ever bring that shit up.
Yeah, I see why he got passed over. Okay, here we go. Class of 2015. Jerome Bettis, Tim Brown, Charles Haley, Bill Pauline, Junior Sal, Will Shields, Mick Tinkoff, and Ron Wolf.
I think he's.
If he was good enough, he would have knocked Junior Seau out the way.
No,
but Junior Seau had passed by that time, right?
Yeah,
he was back. Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah,
they gonna put him in.
They
put him in.
And then Tim Brown, you can't not put Tim. Oh,
Charles. Yeah, he was waiting. He was waiting. Jerome was waiting.
Charles Haley, the only one on that list that is absolutely you can't move him.
And he was waiting for a while too.
Yeah, Charles Haley should have went there a long time ago.
Jerome Bettis was waiting for a while.
He waited.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably why they made Marvin wait one year. They said, let's go ahead and get some of these guys out the way.
How many years did Marvin wait? I thought he waited more than one.
I got you.
I thought it was just one.
His last year was
after the Super Bowl one.
So it might have been 2000. His last season was 2008.
Yep, 2008.
And he got in the Hall of Fame when?
2015.
He waited
16. No, wait, 2015.
He waited 2 years because it's 5 years to wait. So then that's an extra 2.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I mean,
he got in there.
So he waited 1 year. I'm sorry. So he waited 1 year and got in on the second attempt then because it's 2.
I hope Reggie and Torrey get in by the time Julio is up.
Well, you know what I mean? At the same time, though, like Julio clock haven't started counting yet.
No, he ain't officially retired yet.
He ain't even retired yet.
See, that's gonna make it all the more he gonna get in, tighty. Because by the time he up, ain't gonna be no other receiver trying to get in. He probably gonna be the only receiver.
At this point in his career, Julio probably doing like the Dominican Sue do. Wait till you about to go to the playoff and then sign with the team, and then come in and give you a couple of plays, a couple of snaps in there. Like that's
come on back to us and sign that 1 day deal.
But the problem with that is he's not the same force that Sue was when Sue was doing that.
True, but I'm saying that's where he's at in his career. That's why he haven't retired.
And also, Winston, we didn't get your opinion or James' opinion on the topic. Do y'all think he's a first ballot lock, or do you think he questionable?
Hey, James, you want to go first, or you want me to go ahead?
You can go. You can go ahead. You go ahead.
I think Julio gonna be a first ballot lock. You got to think about it. Like he was between the 20s, he was our offense. When we got to the red zone, they won't call a plays for him. That's not on him. So all they got to come into consideration. But when Julio was on this game, he was the best receiver in the league. It was him or AB, and it was like a 1A and a 1A plus situation. He didn't even get to a 1B. And then it was everybody else started off at like 5, and then it goes down. Like so then, and then you got to look at what he did in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like Julio was he was the Falcon. He was synonymous with the Falcon. When people thought about the Atlanta Falcons during his prime, Julio was the first name that came to mind. And then you was a dominant player. You was the top player in your position for years, for a good, considerable stretch of your career. You're a lock, man. Then the touchdown situation, that's not on him. That's on the offensive coordinator not calling them plays in the red zone. You got to think about it. Julio always
thinking like a fan. Thinking like a fan.
No, he ain't thinking like a fan. You got to take everything into consideration.
Thinking like a fan.
I got to agree with Coach on that one.
Look, if they not sitting there calling you plays down there in the red zone, what can you do? You can't throw yourself the ball.
They don't want to hear. They don't care about none of that.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
with Coach
Who,
on
wait,
that.
hold on, Coach.
You
Hold
gotta
on,
look
Coach.
at it.
Who is they? Because the days gonna know when Julio is
The
up.
people who vote.
The
The people who
committee.
vote.
They ain't want. They don't
Yeah.
care.
So you saying they gonna penalize Julio because it's
No,
They
sorry
no,
and
ain't
no,
penalized.
no.
They
They're
don't
not
care.
penalizing him, but he's not gonna get the same credit that all these other guys got. They got 85, 90, 100, 120 touchdowns.
he gonna get credit for being he gonna get credit for being the best receiver of his era for a multiple year stretch. And to me, that's all the voters need to know about. And they're
I'm
gonna
gonna
see his name, Julio Jones. I know what he about. I know what he did. Come on in. Where you go, jacket? Let's get busy, baby. He gonna be
all right.
sitting up
I'm
there
gonna
with
make
all them greats. They
another
they got his
confession.
gold jacket already making it right now, Tidy, because they know in 5 years when he retires, he gonna be ready for the Hall of Fame. Whenever he signed that 1 day deal with the Falcons to come back, what if it's this year 2024, if it's next year 2025,
It
the
need
Hall of Fame gonna start making that gold jacket to get
it need
ready
to
for
be
2000.
it need to be tomorrow because he washed. He need to go and cut it
Yeah,
out. He
hey,
done made a bunch of money. So come on, Julio.
All right,
I'm
so
with
I'm
you.
gonna
Yeah,
make
go ahead
another
and retire.
confession.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
I'm with you. I don't want to join no other team trying to get that little cheap ring. Just retire right now so you won't do nothing else to mess your career so Tidy can add more ammunition to his argument. Retire right now, Julio.
So
And
I'm
D-Led is on the Hall of Fame committee. Oh man,
You
well,
know
he
what?
just won't vote. He
Yeah,
just won't vote though.
I asked D-Led about this 2 or 3 days ago. He told me he stays away from this debate as a selector, so he preferred not to give me an answer. But I reached
Yeah,
gotcha.
out
because
to him.
he know he gonna vote Julio first ballot and he gonna influence
Let's not
everybody
do
in the
that
league.
now. Let's not do that. He gave a real diplomatic answer, and I respected it. Go ahead,
he
Keith.
had to. He had to.
So
Yeah,
Tidy,
yeah.
when we got into this going back and forth on your post, right? I saw something in his numbers, and that's why I stopped. I was like, all right, I'm out this argument because I saw something in Julio numbers. It really comes down to just one season that hurt the whole touchdown argument that you were trying to make. The argument you were making about Roddy was a weak argument in my opinion. But there was one thing, the reason when we were going back and forth of like, all right, what the range is the prime, and we're talking about 5-year prime versus this and that, right? It's 1 year that Julio that hurt him in that touchdown argument.
I know what
That's
it is
20,
too, and not to
Yeah,
cut y'all,
I know
but
what you're about to
can I
say.
guess it?
what?
2016.
Nope.
Go ahead, my bad. Well, go ahead, finish your
20,
point. Bad.
2017.
Yep.
And that was the year in which Matt was, I'm sorry, Matt had a bad year for the Matt people. I apologize, but Matt had a bad year that year. Julio had just 3 touchdowns that season. And he had 1,400 some yards, but only 3 touchdowns. And I remember that statistic ESPN posted, it was like Matt Ryan was like 2 for 30 when targeting Julio Jones in the red zone.
I remember that.
And I was like,
Julio's fault.
and he had only 3
That's
touchdowns. And I
terrible.
remember, and if you remember, because I remember I was at the game in Washington the very next year in 2018 when
That ain't
Julio
Julio's fault.
scored. He spiked the ball and did all this because of all the talk from 2017 about him not being able to get in the end zone. And when we scored against Washington that year, like the minute he got in the end zone, he made this whole big old deal, like pumping his chest up and all that, because he had heard so much about not being able to get in the end zone. It was the 2017 year that created your case for the whole touchdown thing. Every other year, he was on par for everyone else. Like everything else is normal.
Hey, I
He
got
scored-
the mic
he
drop.
scored
I got the
8 that year,
mic drop right here. The mic drop right here.
Go ahead, coach.
Jerry Rice didn't do it. Julio Jones ain't gonna do it.
Jerry
Period.
Rice was first ballot.
Jerry Rice retired in 2004. He didn't make the Hall of Fame till 2010.
Oh, Jerry was the first ballot
Coach,
Jerry
Jerry
was the first
Rice
ballot.
was a first ballot Hall of
He,
Famer.
hey,
And that is
hey,
the
all
end of
I
the
know,
discussion.
all I
We're not
know
gonna
is,
waste no more time
he
on this.
retired in
I
2004.
guarantee you.
Period. So why he didn't go in 2009 then?
Coach, listen to me. Jerry Rice.
I'm
and
asking
Emmitt
the
Smith.
question. He retired in 2004. Why he didn't go in 2009 then?
Technically, he retired in 2006.
All right. In the history of the NFL or pro football, there have been 7 wide receivers, only 7 wide receivers inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Raymond Bird, Lance Alworth, Paul Warfield, Steve
He
Largent,
already did this.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and
Okay.
Calvin Johnson.
It may be a situation how like Matt last year, he didn't play, but he didn't put his papers in. I'm looking it up now, but Google said he didn't retire in 2006.
I promise you, Coach, Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith went in together as first ballot Hall of Famers. I know that for a fact.
Hey, I just know he retired in 2004 and
His
didn't get
last
into
season, his
2010.
last season was 2004.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
His last season was 2004. That doesn't mean he put his retirement papers in 2000.
That probably what it was. Probably just
He played a half a season with Seattle before retiring in 2004 at the age of 42.
Look at the coach. Look at the actual Hall of Fame. They listed on there for it. He's in there. He first ballot.
Okay. Well, then I stand corrected then. But I just did quick research and it said he retired in 2004.
I'll help you out. I'll help you out. Jerry Rice, in August of 2006, he signed a one-day contract with the 49ers, which allowed him to retire as a member of the team where his NFL career began. He signed a one-day contract with the Niners in 2006.
That's what Julio needed to do, because, boy, I hate to see him out there looking like shellfish. Also, shout out to Smitty. Y'all make sure to check Smitty out on YouTube. He says Julio Jones is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. 95 yards a game average at one point. That speaks volumes. It does. I agree. And I feel like he should have retired after that Tennessee year, because now he's really tarnishing his legacy. And that's some of the reason I'm saying what I'm saying also. Travis says Chris Carter, 2-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl, led the league in TDs 3 times and waited 6 years. Julio is not first ballot. Anybody want to reply to that?
That sounds like 3 less All-Pros than Julio. Well, he said how many All-Pros? He said he got 3 to Julio 2.
He said 2-time All-Pro. I'm assuming that's first team All-Pro, I'm guessing. That's probably what that is.
I think Chris Carter has a second team All-Pro, like late in his career around when Randy got to Minnesota. He was a second team. So I think that's 3. Julio got total 5.
I didn't know.
Didn't Chris have issues with the media?
He had a drug problem.
Was Randy Moss a first time all of first ballot?
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah, he was.
And to your quarterback argument, what quarterback was responsible for the bulk of his success?
Oh, Chris.
T.O.?
No, Randy Moss and T.O. Because he only played in San Fran. He only had Steve Young for like 2 or 3 years.
That wasn't the question you asked. You said what QB tandem. It doesn't matter. He played with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay. For like 2 years.
You talking about Tom Brady?
He played with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
You talking about Randy Moss? Randy Moss for
T.O.
1 season.
I'm talking about T.O.
For like 2 years at the beginning of his career before he actually became T.O., right?
It doesn't matter. He played with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
He had Steve Young, then he had Jeff Garcia for like.
He had Jeff Garcia the first like 4 years. Like the first 4 years.
So here's what I'm saying. Steve Young came before.
Steve Young first.
That's what I'm saying. And he only has
Steve Young was after. Jeff Garcia was his first quarterback.
No, it wasn't.
Randy,
what are you doing?
They pushed Montana to Kansas City for Steve Young. They pushed Joe Montana out of San Fran for Steve Young. So there's no gap between there. Remember Joe Montana went to Kansas City. Joe Montana went to Kansas City.
98, 97.
I mean, you can look at. I remember this vividly. Steve Young was the backup quarterback for Joe Montana, and then Joe Montana they pushed him out. He went to Kansas City, and then Steve Young took over.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Garcia
right.
Garcia came after
I
Young.
know that because first Super Bowl I watched was
Yeah.
49ers and Bengals, and I know Montana was still quarterbacking because I would have never cheered for Steve Young, guys.
Steve Young took him to the Super Bowl
What's
versus
wrong
the
with Steve
Chargers.
Young?
Steve Young took him to the Super Bowl versus the Chargers.
Nah, man, I ain't like Steve Young. He took Montana's spot, man. That was his spot, and he stole his job.
Montana was old and hurt. It was time for him to go, bro.
It was the writing was on the wall. Yeah, the writing was. I heard the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, it definitely was on
Hey,
the wall.
Hill can't tell Kansas City that. They almost had them.
Man.
in the Super Bowl. Don't
Montana was a shell of itself. By the time Young got in, man.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
I had to go pull up an article, and luckily for me, it was written like 2 or 3 days ago. This came from Bleacher Report. Can y'all see it on the screen?
Uh-huh.
All right. This says, okay, this is written July 31st, so just a few days ago. And they are ranking best Pro Bowl Hall of Fame resumes. Keely, I think somebody seen our debate we were having because it's written the next day. But they're pretty much going through the locks and who they think ain't a lock. They say Patrick Mahomes, he's a lock. And these are for active players, of course. Aaron Rodgers, lock. I agree. Trent Williams, lock.
Mhm.
Zach Martin, lock.
Lock.
Bobby Wagner, lock.
Why already?
Who
Why
said
did
it?
enough? You think TJ already did enough to be a lock?
Yeah, but
I would say JJ. I don't know
Yeah.
about TJ. I'm kind of with you on that.
part,
I think he got a couple more years to go before he's a lock.
TJ still feel like he new.
Hey, I
Who
agree.
said TJ a lot?
That's what they said
This
on
article.
article right here.
Oh,
Yeah, but TJ is always one of the top sackers in ever since he came in the
TJ already
game.
got
So
96
I'm pretty sure they banking on. I'm
96
pretty sure they
points.
banking on he gonna still be producing at a high level before he get out.
But they saying a lock though. So they just saying if their career ended today with this person going to the hall, when they say lock, that means you going if your career end right now today.
Yeah, 6-time Pro Bowler. So that's a good resume.
All right. Well,
you gotta look at more. You gotta look at more than the Pro Bowl, Slim. You gotta look at the All Pros. You gotta look at some of the numbers sometimes. But his numbers and his
I'm just trying to make sense out of why they got him as number 6 as a lock.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
hope
up.
this ain't ranked. I hope this ain't
He
ranked
got
because
5.
there's no way he's over Von Miller.
Yeah, I don't think they got it like a ranking or anything. I'm assuming they don't. I don't know.
It's not over no Von Miller.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You say Von Miller over TJ Watt.
Somebody else.
No,
Yeah, Von Miller is definitely before TJ Watt.
Von Miller got 131 career sacks, but TJ got 96 and a half. So in about roughly about 4 years, he gonna walk Von Miller down.
He got 2
And
rings.
Von probably only got like 2 more
Yeah, that's
years.
what I'm saying. He got 2 rings. He got
he
8
got
Pro
2
Bowls. 7 All Pros. Yeah, Von Miller a lot. And he got a Super Bowl MVP.
And
he's
Somebody got a bad echo going on right now.
everybody take their time muting, I guess.
yeah, I was just muted and somebody was still echoing, so it's not me.
Hello.
You good,
Hello?
Keely? I just muted.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, well, maybe it's gone. I don't hear it no more.
I thought it was me at first.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna finish going down this list real quick.
Well, back to the debate.
All right, so they got Bobby Wagner, TJ Watt, Kelsey, Von Miller.
Yeah, Kelsey.
Now this where we get to the juice. On the brink. They got Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike Evans,
Yeah.
Mike
Evans.
Evans getting in. Mike
He
Evans
got a
getting
ring
in.
and he got the numbers.
Yeah, Mike Evans getting in.
Oh
I
no.
don't know about
Max
first ballot.
getting in.
I don't know about
Also-
first ballot.
See, Mike Evans though, he's quietly consistent.
Yes,
what
he
helps
is. he is.
But
That's
that
why
I think
getting in.
I think that goes to the like, all right. I think that goes to the resume versus greatness argument, and that kind of goes into the Matt argument. Like I heard somebody, I literally, like I said, okay, I just watched this video of a Hall of Fame voter who was directly asked about Matt Ryan, right? So I'm just saying this,
Here we
and
go.
the case that they made was that Hall of Fame is for greats, not people who stockpile a bunch of numbers. So my question
that
for
mean
Mike,
Matt out.
so my question, and matter of fact, here's the interesting. I'm just gonna add this little tidbit. The thing was, she said even if Matt would have got one ring, she felt like he would have needed two in order for her to vote for him. That was wild. But for this particular instance, my question is, was Mike Evans ever considered a great in the game? Because that was her definition of voting for Hall of Fame. It should be only the greats. So even though someone could play an extended period, like people can play consistently above average for 20 years or whatever, but were they ever great?
So I got his numbers right here. Here we go, right? So Mike Evans has 11,680 yards, 94 touchdowns, and he is a 5-time Pro Bowler and three-time All-Pro.
And also, I'm adding this for a minute that he has had at least 1,000 yards every single year of his career, including his rookie.
Nobody done that before.
Mike Evans getting in. Mike Evans definitely getting in first ballot.
All right, so let me rephrase my question. Was he ever a top three receiver in the league?
Yes.
Yeah. Mike Evans has been a top 3 receiver. I think the Super Bowl year that they won when Tom Brady got there, he was a top 3 receiver.
So he was a top 3 receiver in the league.
Mike Evans was the reason why they got into the playoffs last year, even though they didn't have a good record. But
I mean, but that's not saying Deion Branch was a reason that the Patriots won a Super Bowl, but that doesn't mean he was great. I'm saying, like, was he a top 3 receiver in the NFL?
Yes.
All right, so
you talking about statistically?
Right, so we just got to talk about the Julio argument.
A top. I would give Mike Evans a consistent top 5 receiver every year of his career.
So, for example, all right, in the same era with Mike Evans, you got Stephon Diggs, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Devontae Adams, you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyreek Hill. Was he ever better than any of them?
You can't say so. That's a no.
Yeah,
no,
it's hard for me to say. Well, you might say he was on par for a year or two.
But I mean, is he better than AJ Brown? Is he better than AJ Brown? Amari Cooper?
When AJ Brown was on the team, he was better than AJ Brown.
AJ Brown was never on the team.
I mean, now I'm thinking of Antonio Brown. That's what.
Antonio Brown was at the end of his career. I'm talking about AJ Brown. And you can't say he's better than Antonio Brown at the high.
I think Mike Evans don't get the kudos. I mean, like the real. He's just quiet, man. He just because I mean Tampa Bay, they've been sorry for so long, and then when Tom Brady got there, he started to get his shine. But it's because they were terrible for so long. It's like Mike Evans. I mean, he'll quietly.
Let me tell you who he reminds me of.
I think y'all are looking at
who he reminds me of. Roddy. Roddy is a beast. Everyone respects Roddy White. All his contemporaries respect him. Very consistent receiver for his time frame. But no one ever says that, oh, he's a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah, but Roddy don't have the numbers to back it up like Evans.
And not to mention when Roddy came in, Roddy wasn't really – he was really trying to find himself because he came in during the end of Vic era, and he was really trying to find himself. So he had a short period of time where he was really putting up numbers. But I think
I
we
want to
looking
say
at
short from 2007 till 2015, because 2015 is when he was beefing with Kyle Shanahan. So from 2007 to 2015 is
I'll probably say
his
2008, 2009 is when he really
he was
blossomed. But
he was a 1,000-yard receiver in 2007.
1,200 yard.
Yeah, 1,200 in 2007.
but I'm talking about where he was just really
What I'm
helping
saying
the
is
team. Because that's the reason why the
his
Falcons went and got
1,200 is
Julio
higher than
Jones
some of the
was
years
because
in
they
his prime.
realized the reason why the Falcons got Julio Jones because they thought there was one wide receiver away from actually going to the Super Bowl. That's the reason why they end up getting Julio Jones. They traded
That's
5
not an
picks for him.
indictment, but that's not an indictment on Roddy though.
No,
They're saying they need.
but
It's
that's
not.
telling Roddy. That's telling Roddy. We realize you coming up on the wall. So Julio Jones.
Nah,
Everybody knew Julio Jones was there to replace Roddy White.
no, you
Everybody
need
knew that.
somebody. You need another receiver on the other side. That's
They
what it
was
was.
not looking for Julio
They need a
Jones to
wide.
be a number 2.
Okay, all right.
If you watch the documentary of Julio Jones, they even say that. But I think we look at
All right.
but one thing I think we look at is we look at
They just
the
needed
raw. It's an NFL documentary.
Because clearly Roddy was the one in that 2012 run. Like every single DB that line, like Richard Sherman lined up across from Roddy. He didn't line up across from Julio in 2012.
Let me say this about the Mike Evans argument, and I know this might be an unpopular statement, y'all, but going back to the touchdowns, this guy hit 100 touchdowns. You're gonna have to put him in the hall.
You're gonna have to.
You gotta put him in the hall.
He going to the hall regardless.
Yeah,
and he got a ring. Yeah, you're right.
I think he's going, but he's not going first ballot. Is what I think.
No, I wouldn't call him a first ballot, but I think he is going.
He'll get in there.
You got to put him in. Any receiver that have 1,000 yards for every season in his career is going to the Hall of Fame. That's hands down.
Yeah.
Also, I think we look at we grade. I think a lot of people need to watch that NFL documentary about how do they vote players into the Hall, and it's not just about the stats. Because one of the dudes has said if it was just solely about stats and rings, all we'll just do is take everybody at the top and then plug them in.
Hold on. Where are you finding these documentaries at, Slim?
It's an NFL documentary. It was published by the NFL.
But that's what Keely been saying though. It ain't just about stats.
It ain't.
But I mean, the impact Mike Evans had on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is legendary. That like he literally brought that team from the slums. So yes, he's going into the Hall once he called it quits. Like the impact he put on that team or he provided for that team is unmeasurable. So
wait a minute. What are you talking about, Mike Evans?
Yes.
What impact did he provide?
Yeah, what impact?
So,
the only impact we saw was Tom Brady coming to Tampa Bay.
Right.
Literally.
Without Brady, he didn't provide no impact.
Mike Evans.
He just getting numbers consistently every year. Really. Now I give him credit for getting these.
You can make the argument that his numbers are very little impact.
But if you talking about some type of huge,
because they were still losers with his numbers, so you can make the argument that his numbers are weren't impactful at all until Brady got there. That was the impact.
Tampa Bay just went 3 seasons back to back as underdogs, but still found their way in the playoffs.
Slim, what was Tampa Bay doing before Brady arrived with Mike Evans?
They was doing what we all was doing in the NFC South, itching to get into the playoffs.
They were losing, right?
We all was, but Tampa Bay. If you look at the NFC South,
all is inclusive of Tampa Bay. So they were losing. So how impactful was Mike Evans if they were still losing?
Mike Evans is DeAndre Hopkins over there with the Texans. He's the DeAndre Hopkins of the NFC South. Exactly.
I think that's a pretty good comparison.
He'll get in the hard though because no other receiver have on Mad 1,000 yards every year of his career. He'll get into the hard.
Yeah,
of course. First ballot.
Yeah. It won't be first ballot, but I think he might eventually get in.
If he go over 100, he might go ahead and go first ballot because he got
only 4 touchdowns away.
He
only 6 away.
Yeah, 6 away.
Yeah,
let's see who up. It depends on who's up the year that he's eligible.
It depends when
and I don't even like Mike Evans. I think he's a dirty player. But you still got to respect him. Nah, shoot, that man be throwing you around at the line.
Hey man,
I just never viewed him on the level of.
I thought they called that
physical. That's not playing 30. That's hand fighting. You gotta remember the man's 6'5". Most DBs are smaller than him. So of course you can throw you around.
Man, and then what he did to AJ in that one game, the referees looking the other way too. Pissed me off.
I knew this was about AJ.
All right, so let's keep going. Now, I was surprised they put Khalil Mack on the brink. I thought he would be a lock. Am I tripping?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Yeah, I thought he'd be a lock too. He probably still is a lock.
If Khalil Mack stayed where he was originally at, he'll probably be a lot further along. But Khalil Mack,
because they look at him like the next Urlacher in Chicago.
Yeah.
When you go to the Chargers, man, you kind of disappear out there.
Yeah, you're right too. All right, so they got Tyreek Hill on the brink. They got Myles Garrett on the brink.
They got Tyreek on the brink.
Yep.
Tyreek is a lock.
They got him on the brink right now. Damn, I didn't know he had 5 first-team All-Pro. I didn't know that.
Tyreek is first ballot.
Man, that man is the only 99 overall in Madden. So that man is a monster.
And not only that, Slim, he just got voted #1 player for the top 100 NFL players.
Who, Tyreek?
Oh, he was number one.
I don't understand that. Patrick Mahomes should have been #1. Patrick Mahomes should have been 1. I ain't agree with that.
I'm just telling you who was voted #1, y'all.
Don't fight his speed. That's because of that speed, man. You can't really catch him. Like you gotta start guarding him once he get off the bus. Like you can't really stop him.
He'll slow up once he gets older.
Agree that Tyreek is first ballot.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't got
It's hard to dismiss 5 All-Pros, first team.
Julio. Oh, I'm about to say. Okay. No.
And he got a ring.
And he got a ring.
He got one.
Thankfully, he didn't leave KC a year earlier because boy, he still be ring.
Oh, he got one year early. Okay.
Yep. Right before he left.
Right before he left.
All right. So next they got Myles Garrett on the brink. Then they got
who else they got on the brink?
They got Myles Garrett.
Oh, Myles.
Yeah, for the longest, Myles Garrett was the talk of the town. That's who you
He still is. He's still the #1 edge rusher in the game to me.
That's a good one. I wouldn't say he's the #1 edge rusher as of right now. Nah.
He's top 3.
I give you that.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, then they also got. Go ahead.
He might be one. I was gonna say honestly, he might be one. Is either him or TJ?
Man, I'm looking at Mike Evans highlights. Man, that's AJ Terrell kryptonite, boy. Goodness.
Yeah, you're right.
Man,
you had to bring that game back up, our money.
No, it's several games he be cooking. Mike Evans be cooking AJ.
And what was that? The first year that Mariota was here, when he caught them. No, that was damn Michael Thomas. My bad. That Michael Thomas caught them balls on AJ.
You just look at last year's game, Titan. Just look at last year's game. He was abusing AJ.
Yeah, he was.
Because AJ be trying to
flag should have been called.
AJ think that he can get physical. I'm like, man, back up. You can't. You
right.
get physical with Mike Evans. It ain't working. Stop trying to get physical with him.
Way too big. Way too tall.
Way too strong. Yeah.
Hey, so
I think what he was trying to do was get the refs' attention.
I would never.
He was trying to get the refs' attention.
Hey, check this out. So I found an article that somebody actually talked to like 5 actual voters last year on this exact topic, Julio Jones and Megatron.
Yeah, and stay right there, Coach. That we're gonna go to next. I got that pulled up too, cause
Oh, okay.
yeah, D. Orlando Ledbetter, he tweeted that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Truth or something, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. I got to pull it up too.
The Talk of Fame 2 is what I see.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right. So to finish this off, they got Chris Jones, they got Justin Tucker,
Yeah.
they got Russell Wilson,
They got my
I don't
boy
know
who
about him.
and
I don't know about him.
George.
they got number 17, who has been the talk of this show, free agent wide receiver Julio Jones. A lack of big moments, touchdowns, playoff wins might cost Jones dearly, even if he was a 7-time Pro Bowler with more than 13,000 career yards. Did he run out of gas too quickly?
Yeah, man, them hamstrings, man. He just
Injuries.
can't never get right. I mean, Julio, and I'm not gonna blame Matt for that, but when you running a go route and you have to constantly either turn your whole body around or you have to constantly clench your foot and stop and wait for the ball. I mean, that stuff costs you.
Well, I don't know who you gonna blame for it then, because that was the only one throwing the ball to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't hit him in stride.
But he did 10 years with the Falcons. That's well over average years of, especially a wide receiver is with a team. So it's not that did he run out of gas too quickly. It's just he didn't retire when he should have. Now he's just a journeyman. And 10 years is a good enough time to just say, you know what, it's time to call it quits. That's why I like what your boy over there at the Rams did. He, on his own terms, he walked off.
Yeah, he should have walked. And then what really hurt Julio too was, I mean, the rebuild that we've been going through, for him to have to,
But we also got to give Julio the flowers that he was the reason the Falcons even went to the Super Bowl. And you have to admit that he was the reason.
Gave it to him. We gave him his flowers. That's why he get in first ballot.
Yeah, I think he first -1 ballot. Like before he even say he retired, he should get in there.
Yeah. Truth be told, and I say this every time, but I mean, and I don't mean to bring it up because after Julio made that catch, man, the game was over. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And y'all know what game I'm talking about.
Yeah. Over. That was monstrous.
Yeah, we know what game he's talking about.
He put the seal. That would have been the game. That would have been the catch of the game. Had we won that game, the game was done. It was a done deal.
They
be showing highlights of that catch, and now
if we win that game, he's a lot first ballot. If we win,
him and Matt are a lot first ballot. They win that game. But
I still think they both locked first. Especially, here's another reason why I think Matt is going to be a first round, because one, what a lot of NFL players do when they get out of the league, they get into those booths, and that's who you want to rub shoulders with. That's who you want to rub shoulders with, because those are the people who's voting on you. So I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Matt will get in, but Matt ain't going first ballot.
He's definitely not going first ballot. But I don't think he's getting in at all. But he's definitely not going first ballot.
He'll get in because he's a good commentator. So his contribution.
Thank you, muted, Winston.
Yo, y'all hear me?
We hear you now. You went out though.
But no, his work in the booth as a commentator, he'll go in as a player / contributor. but that's gonna be down the line. He's not going in first ballot. And if he had won the Super Bowl, it'd have been a lot. It would have been a lot, but that didn't happen. And now,
so then let me ask y'all this then. Do y'all think Tony Gonzalez should be first round?
Absolutely.
Hold on, who you say? Who you say?
Tony G.
Did he already go in?
Yeah, he already in.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, do y'all think he should have been first round?
Yeah.
When the argument is if you're arguably the greatest tight end of all time, when people are talking about your name in that lens, yeah.
Definitely.
But for the longest, Tony G didn't have that many playoff wins, and he don't have a ring.
At that same time, they were talking about him as the greatest tight end of all time.
Tony G got wide receiver yards.
Tony G was different, man.
Oh no, I think he should have been a first round ballot, but I'm just saying on the grade y'all doing, like, then do you think Tony G should have been a first rounder?
Yeah, because
how y'all grading?
Yeah, because he's a 14-time Pro Bowl, 6-time All Pro. I mean, yeah, he walking that first ballot easy.
My grade is very consistent. When they're talking about you as in you are the best in it at your position, yes. Regardless of numbers, I don't care what his numbers were. The conversation was he was the best tight end of all time at his peak.
Can't say that about Max. You
know? Matt Ryan?
Yeah,
you're not talking about Matt Ryan. Oh man, y'all see, Matt Ryan. Here's the thing about Matt. I think you love him. He was the best. Oh, you hate him. You're never going to be in the middle with it. You're never going to be in the middle. It's either you love him or you hate him.
I'm in the middle.
No, I'm asking you a specific question. Can you say Matt Ryan was the best quarterback at any time during his career?
That's
2016.
2016.
He wasn't in
2017.
He wasn't. He was
garbage in 2017.
2017.
No, you talking about 18, not 17.
You're talking about 18. I mean, 2017 he was terrible. 2016 he wasn't even his MVP year. He wasn't the best in the league.
No, yeah, but we talking about 13. What he had, like 13 different people who got a touchdown from him. Like, come on, the man. They was calling
him. It was an accomplishment, though. You say that as if that's an accomplishment.
It was an accomplishment when he did that. Man, he had people jumping off the ceiling.
Who was impressed? Who was impressed by it?
Well, they voted him MVP, so a lot of people was impressed.
All right, so here's the thing. You know, it wasn't unanimous MVP,
before you ask that, what do MVP stands for?
Most valuable player.
Thank you. That's it. That's it.
Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon is an MVP. He was never considered the best quarterback in the game. So was Rich Gannon the best quarterback in football at any point in his career?
Oh my goodness. But to you, that's it. That's it.
All right.
He was most valuable player.
Hold on. Let's do a common sense check. Everybody, was Rich Gannon ever everybody please answer, was Rich Gannon ever considered the best quarterback in the game?
No.
The question I have is, before y'all answer that, what do MVP stands for?
That's not what we're not asking. Look,
and when you're voted MVP, are you voted MVP for one game, or you voted MVP for
you can
the
stop
whole
now.
season?
This is the part of the show where we apply common sense. Was Rich Gannon ever considered the best quarterback in NFL at any point?
Was he MVP?
You're deflecting right now.
I'm asking you.
It's a yes or no question. It's only two answers you can give: a yes or a no.
No, because that's what you. Thank you. I'm asking you. Was he ever MVP in one of those seasons?
It was a no. Cam Newton is an MVP. Was he ever the best quarterback in the NFL?
Was he an MVP?
I would say
in one of those
he
seasons?
was.
In the same title, you're saying that in the same time in which Brady is in the league, Aaron Rodgers in the league.
But I'm just saying for one season, yeah. In 15, man, Cam Newton, that was one of the
Cam
best
Newton was running over
seasons I've ever
everybody. Yes,
seen.
he was running over everybody. You're right. He was running over everybody.
So let me ask everybody this: when you got
on,
the
y'all.
MVP,
Hold on. We gotta do a sound check. Somebody echoing real bad. I know it ain't Winston because he got his mic muted, so it ain't him. Mic check.
Mic check.
Hello. Mic check.
Hello, is it me?
Say something, Red.
Hello.
Is somebody watching the show on YouTube?
All right, somebody using a Bluetooth headset.
Yeah, Bluetooth. Somebody got
That's
a Bluetooth.
probably what it is, Bluetooth.
This is Bluetooth.
I don't think it's you, Keely, because I don't hear nothing when you come back.
Is it me?
It's not me. Is it me?
It ain't me because I've been muted, stuff in my face. So
I don't know,
It's
Coach.
Coach.
I think that is you, Coach.
nah, I've been muted this whole time.
Hello.
Say something, Red.
Hello.
Okay, so we good now. I'll let y'all know if it come back. My bad. Go ahead, y'all. My fault.
But the question I was gonna ask is, when you're voted MVP for that season,
Yes,
what are they saying?
You are technically considered the best player of that year.
All right,
when you
so
get
let
the
me
MVP.
bring up.
So
one
then
consideration.
that should be it, right? That should
But he
be it, right?
wasn't.
You can't
But he
say,
wasn't.
yeah, you got MVP, but you ain't the best for that year. Like that doesn't work.
I can say that because you just said about Rich Gannon. So how is
No.
the absolute no applicable when you just said when Rich Gannon won MVP, he was not the best quarterback? You just
I didn't
said
say that. Did I say that?
You said no.
No, I did not. I said, let me
I
ask
said
you.
yes or
Was
no.
he
And you
MVP?
said no.
No, I did not. I said, was
Okay.
he MVP for one of those seasons? Yes, he was. So then by that standard, he was the best player for that season. He was voted the best player for that
I
season.
think where you're faulty is assuming that MVP means best player, best
But
quarterback.
that's what it means.
Most valuable and best are two different definitions.
Yeah, you're right, Keely. But they generally give it. They generally give it to the best player of that year
I
in
watched Karl
football.
Malone and Barkley get MVP with
That's
Jordan in the league.
basketball. That's basketball. That's different.
It doesn't change the definition. It doesn't mean best. It means most valuable.
Right, I understand that. But in
Plenty
football,
Alexander has an MVP.
hold on.
Plenty of
In
MVP.
basketball, losing players don't get MVP. Like players on a losing team don't get MVP.
Coach,
You can get MVP.
You're wasting
You
your
can get
energy.
MVP in the NFL and not be.
I'm not saying it means you're a loser. You're wasting your energy. I'm not saying it means you're a loser. Was Charles Barkley the best player in the NBA when he got it?
Probably not, because Michael Jordan was still playing.
So MVP
Again,
does not mean
it's different for basketball. It's different for basketball,
not.
bro.
The definition of that. No, hold on, Coach. The definition of most valuable and
I understand. And that's why they say. That's why they say in the NBA they need to change that. They need to change the requisite of the MVP. I get what you're saying. You're right.
Coach, let me bring up something about the voting. I don't know if I know I've told other people this about the 2016 voting. All right. So Matt wasn't a unanimous vote, correct?
Correct.
Do you know who else got almost 50% of the vote?
I don't.
Tom Brady.
Brady got.
There you go. You know why some of those votes went to Matt instead of Tom Brady?
Matt had the better team.
No.
Brady was suspended for 4 games.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
He missed a quarter of the season. When you look at what he did, he went 11-1. He threw nearly like 30 touchdowns to 1 interception. There were plenty of people who were like, he was the MVP, but they could not vote for him because he had a 4-game suspension to start the season.
So then that means he couldn't be the best player of that season because he wasn't available.
No.
I mean that's kind of true. That's kind of true.
No, that's not true. That's true if you're missing some chromosome.
That's like saying I got suspended from school, but I should get a perfect attendance award. Like,
no,
come on, man.
What it means was he was suspended, even though we could clearly see he was the best quarterback in the NFL that year. That's what it means.
Hey, but you can have straight A's and still get suspended from school for something else.
Yeah, and you were still an A student. That's the point I'm making.
Best student. You still
but that's academic. That's why I said a perfect attendance award.
That's the point. Thank you for making my point. The best student in the high school, didn't get the award because he missed too many classes, even though he was the smartest kid in the school.
So then he's not the best student in the school.
No, he is clearly the best. That's where you're having trouble with the definition of best versus most valuable.
No, I'm having trouble with your definition.
Thank you, because you have your chromosome. You understand. I'm trying to get everybody else on track.
I get what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying, bro. I'm with you. I'm just saying that in the NFL, they generally give the MVP to the best player of that year. It ain't basketball. Basketball is different.
Who won MVP last year? Lamar Jackson, right? What player was better than Lamar Jackson?
And Mahomes was the best quarterback. Mahomes was the best quarterback.
When you get MVP, when they grade you on MVP, is not based on the playoff standard. It's based on your regular season.
Who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now, Coach?
It's not about right now. It's about that season.
It's probably Mahomes. Probably Mahomes.
We're talking about that season. Who was the best quarterback
but he got a point, though. Last year, Mahomes wasn't as good as Lamar Jackson. They just got hot at the right time. But they were struggling. He was missing a lot of passes. Well, he wasn't missing passes. They were dropping a lot of passes. Listen, Keely, it still goes on his record. Even though they were dropping the passes, that's still incomplete for him.
All right, so Coach, I'm gonna talk to you real quick. Every single year, does the best player get MVP in the NFL?
No.
Every single year.
No.
So what are we talking about?
You're right. What
are we talking about? So what are we talking about?
You're right. I mean,
hold on, and he wasn't, and Brady wasn't the only other quarterback that got MVP consideration. Aaron Rodgers also got MVP consideration. There were voters who felt that Aaron Rodgers got MVP as well. It wasn't people act like he was just clear cut. No, it was literally like
a lot of people get MVP considerations. It's one person's going to shine, and these are voted on by
And there's an argument that the reason he got it is because Brady was suspended.
Every single person is going to feel like the best person. A lot of the times, a lot of people said Christian McCaffrey should have been considered the best player of last year or the year before last. But once again, he didn't get those votes. So he's not the best player of that year. He wasn't considered the best player of that year.
It's somewhat like the Heisman. There are a lot of running. It's considered, sometimes the MVP is considered a quarterback award. So sometimes the best player, in the league doesn't get it because it's considered a quarterback award.
It's definitely a quarterback award.
Yeah, because the quarterback is the most important position on the team.
So sometimes the best player does not win MVP, because Christian McCaffrey definitely made a case that he had the best season last year.
Another case in point, when Karl Malone won MVP, but that didn't make him better than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but y'all are combining overall success off of yearly success. Those are two different things. You can Tom Brady could be in the league for 1 year and have a down year and someone do better than him. That doesn't mean that person is going to be better than Tom Brady.
Slim. What he's touching on is that there's two definitions between most valuable and best. That's the point. Those are two different definitions.
But everybody knows when they say most valuable player, they're talking about you was the best player of that season.
And Karl Malone was not the best player in the NBA the season that he won the award.
To you, he might not have been.
He damn sure
He
wasn't.
was. No one would ever. If you took a poll of every single NBA professional that played that year, none of them would say that Karl Malone was better than
So
Michael
why
Jordan.
did he get it?
Here's the thing.
Sometimes you have to respect the award,
There are
man.
two different
It's different.
definitions.
It's different. I'm with you, Keely. It's
There's two different
different in
definitions.
basketball. Just like Steve Nash got it over Shaquille O'Neal. There's no way in hell he should have got it, but Steve Nash had a better record. That's what I'm saying.
That was
Basketball
wild.
is different. Basketball is way different.
I'm not saying it's different. I'm not saying it's different. What I'm saying is they're two different. Y'all making most valuable.
Don't say y'all. Don't say y'all.
What I'm saying is because
don't say y'all. I'm with you.
The best player in the NFL does not always win MVP. Best and most valuable are two different definitions. That's what I'm saying.
My argument is sometimes you just have to respect the award.
Hold on, real quick, y'all. We done hit our 2-hour mark, so we got to do heads or tails. Everybody know the game. So what I'll do is I'll give you 2 options, and you choose whatever option you prefer, and whatever context you want the answer to be based upon, it's on you. We always start at the top. So Keely, you are on deck. Are you ready?
Shoot.
All right. So heads or tails, golf or tennis?
Tennis.
Ooh, I was surprised by that one. All right. James, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, James, you got Gary Payton or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul.
Okay.
Woo.
I was wondering who was going to end up with this next question right here. By the luck of the draw or money? Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick?
Man. I'm going to have to say Lamar.
Lamar Jackson. What? Okay. I can dig it.
That hurt.
I might have to say Lamar.
For real, man.
Oh, you're probably right though.
Accomplishments.
Give me Vic.
For sure.
And he left-handed. I'm left-handed too. I know y'all saw Penix rocking that Vic jersey.
That explains. So
and Mike Vick is my favorite Falcon of all time, but I can't lie.
Yeah, I respect it. All right, Slim. Casino or Goodfellas?
Oh, that was a good one.
That's a real
Goodfellas. I gotta go with Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Okay, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.
You chose the right one.
Give me a good one, bro. Give me a good one.
You got another movie. Hope you're a movie buff. Red missing out on all the movies.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. E.T. or Gremlins?
Oh man, you gotta go with Gremlins, man.
Gremlin
that Gremlin had that gangster mohawk, bro. Hell yeah.
I like both of them. You can't go wrong with either one.
I agree. All right, Winston, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. 98 degrees or 24 degrees?
Sound like when I was stationed in Germany.
Right now, give me that 24 degrees.
Oh, no.
It's cooking up here.
You can always get warm, add more clothes.
Yeah, I can always add more clothes.
Yep.
If I'm stuck outside, I'm outside.
All right, Red. You got the think question for the night. $135,000 per month for the next 5 years. I repeat it, $135,000 per month for the next 5 years, or a one-time payment of $6 million.
Man, that's easy, man.
Give me the next 5 years.
Right.
Hell yeah, that's more money.
That's more money.
Yep.
About $2 million.
Now, not only that, you get a lump sum. You more quickly to spend it all than getting it per month.
All right, Keely.
Yeah,
You got a this is a generation of music question for you. And it's super cliche, but here it is. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay.
Jay. I could dig it. All right. James. Denver, Colorado or Portland, Oregon?
Ooh.
That's easy.
Denver. Hands down.
Get some of that good beer. All right, Armani. Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs all day.
My dog, my dog, my dog.
Dogs all day. Cats creep me out. They be tearing stuff up. You don't know who did it.
Right. Cats are creepy. All right, Slim.
And then,
Vodka or tequila?
oh, vodka. I can't fuck with that tequila. I can't mess with that tequila. I don't do that.
I love me some tequila, ball. Love me some tequila.
You mess with it every week.
All right, Coach. Damn, Coach, you getting all the movie questions tonight. All right, so you got New Jack City or Boys in the Hood?
Ooh. But it is a right
answer. Like I said last time, you put New Jack City up there. Nothing will ever beat that. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. The greatest quote.
Nah, I gotta say, Boys in the Hood beat that one. Boys in the Hood beat that one.
No.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
No. Hell no. New Jack all the way.
Man, Boys in the Hood, man. I was watching that the other day.
They both classic sided. So
They are.
You got to have both of them in the what you call it. You got to have both of them.
But Boys in the Hood got two
All right, Winston. You got Mexican food or Italian food?
Italian.
Pasta.
I gotta have.
So I think it is you, Winston, because when it's echoing, you bouncing. Your logo is bouncing.
Mic check.
I'm gonna keep my junk on mute.
All right, so who next? Red?
Yeah.
Nah, it's Winston. He didn't.
Yeah, he went. He said Italian food.
Oh.
All right, Red, this is a good one. Troy Polamalu or Brian Dawkins?
Ooh.
That's easy.
Boy. Give me Troy.
Well, would have
Troy
made it
jumped
tough
over
if
that
you would have
line.
said Ed Reed.
When Troy jumped over that line and got that sack, yeah, it's Troy all day. That safety of.
Even though Dolphins bring that wood, boy.
I don't know. It's between him and Ed
It's
Reed.
hard. It's hard to listen. Troy. They was talking about this on 92.9 The Game about how Troy, the Steelers defense, used to all jumble at the line, and once the ball is snapped, they run right back to their positions. He said, "Man, one of the people who can do it the best was Troy Polamalu. That man was a monster. You got to give him his credit on that one."
Yeah,
Troy in the Hall of Fame, right?
T.O. was saying the same thing with Shannon as well.
Oh, I said Troy in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
With the head and shoulders.
All right,
Okay.
Keely.
Go ahead.
All right, I think I know which one you're gonna pick, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. I'm pretty sure I know which one you're gonna pick based on knowing you. But here we go. Game 7 of the World Series or Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Finals.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, finals all day.
All right, so this is the last one, and this is gonna be James. You with us?
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Daly or Larry Brown?
Damn. Gotta go Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly for the win. That's this week's Heads to Tail panel. I appreciate y'all playing this with me every week. Let's get back to our Hall of Fame discussion. We started off with Julio Jones as he first ballot. If y'all want to finish out the last hour, we can take the conversation to Matt Ryan or whatever y'all want to talk about. Open panel, whatever y'all want to discuss.
Go to that web page where they was talking about. They asked the different people who actually vote.
Oh yeah, that's right. Appreciate you reminding me. This was a pretty good conversation too.
Yeah, I read that whole thing, and it kind of made me change. Like from what they were saying, I was like, okay, he just may luck up and get in there first ballot.
All right, can y'all see it on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can see it.
Let me bring it up a little bit.
Yep, that's the one I was just reading.
So what they did is they asked, I think they asked 5 or 6 people, will Julio Jones be a first ballot Hall of Famer? I won't read the entire article. I'll just read their responses. This is from Ken Crippen, founder and lead instructor from the Football Learning Academy. He says Julio Jones will get in the Hall of Fame, and I do see him getting in on the first ballot. He's put up some impressive statistics, but that is only part of the story. He also has the honors to back them up. Of course, things will depend on who else is eligible that year and who is waiting in queue, which a lot of y'all already said, but I do see him getting in on the first ballot. So he got him going in. This is next gentleman is Jim Campbell, pro football researcher, historian, and co-author of Hell with the Lid Off, blah, 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 blah. But he says both Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson made their imprint on the NFL. Wide receivers of the first magnitude. I doubt that anyone would quibble with Johnson's first ballot entry into Canton's immortality. His 9-year career could be used as a measuring stick. Taking that and applying it to Julio Jones, Jones surpasses Megatron during the first 9 years of his career. In Jones's first 9 years, he outgained Johnson in yards, 12,000 and change to 11,000 and change. One can make stats say whatever one wants, but this alone tells me that Jones is first ballot worthy. So the first 2 people are kind of adamant, like, yeah, he going in. Next person is Upton Bell. He's a former NFL general manager and son of former NFL commissioner Burt Bell. He says he was more powerful than a locomotive and able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Megatron was one of the most gifted players I've ever seen. His size and speed and leaping ability were unmatched. If the lines were better, he might have eclipsed Jerry Rice. I don't know about that. At 6'3", 230, Jones was big and a terrific athlete. He was certainly one of the best receivers of his era, definitely a Hall of Famer, but a first ballot Hall of Famer is questionable. It don't even seem like he answered the question about Julio. He talked about Megatron. Jack Silverstein says, will he? I won't know until I see the ballot, which to me means that if he waits a year or 2, that's fine. I had no problem with Calvin Johnson being first ballot, but I would have had no problem if he waited. Since 1990, the first ballot wide receivers were Largent, Rice, Moss, Johnson, and soon Larry Fitzgerald. The other modern era wide receivers at the time, Joyner, Swan, Stallworth, Lawton, Irvin, Monk, Carter, Reed, Brown, Harrison, Owens, Bruce, and soon Andre Johnson, Holtz, and Reggie Wayne. Julio Jones is much more in the second group. I don't think Hall voters should earmark first ballot status for players as it continues the trend of ignoring late eligibility guys who never reached the room at all. First ballot should be no-brainers or no-brainers. The stand-up, say names, sit down guys. Julio Jones is headed for Canton soon and with good reason, but his presenter will have to say more to get him there.
They spelled Julio Jones' name wrong.
I seen that, Julian. So he pretty much saying that he probably won't be a first ballot. The verdict says this is a difficult decision, though the jury seems to lean ever so slightly in one direction. 3 of the 6 voters are in his corner. One voter head saying he didn't think he was first ballot worthy, but he didn't rule it out. 2 other voters believe Jones may wait. As Fry put it, a few ballots. I don't disagree. But in short, they summed it up because I'm not going to read all this stuff. They said once they did the verdict, they say he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But 3 said yes, 3 said no. So it's kind of like our panel a little bit.
I think he'll be a first rounder. Only thing I think that would probably hinder Julio Jones is once he finally retire, he's gonna fall out of the scene. And what I mean by that is he's not gonna do like any public appearance. He's gonna probably become an introvert. And that right there can prolong because that's the reason why a lot of these people jump in the booth, because now they're not only getting paid, but they're rubbing elbows with the people who's voting people in. So, and I don't think Julio Jones would do that. So I think if he want to be a first rounder, he needs to, start getting in those circles and opening up more.
Think you need to get a podcast?
Nah, I need to try to get in that booth, get on the call them games.
My question really is like, because Julio played pretty much his entire career in Atlanta, and that's why I keep going back to, is it possible that he makes it and Matt Ryan doesn't? Like, I don't think you can snub one and give it to the other.
Yeah, Steve Largent is in and Jim Zorn isn't.
Yeah, you can.
But did he play his entire career with them though?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know deep down Matt Ryan is going into the Hall of Fame.
Keep my Steve Largent at first ballot. He's a first
Matt
ballot.
Ryan may not be first ballot. He may not go in as first, which I think he should, but he may not. But we all know Matt Ryan's going to be in.
No, we don't know that
one day.
Yeah, we don't know that. I'm not sure, but my thing is, how can Julio go in when his only the quarterback he had for his career that would make him go into the Hall of Fame was Matt Ryan? So
what quarterback is going in with Larry Fitzgerald or Andre Johnson, who just went in? What quarterback going in with him?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying for the career that Julio has, that we will look at, that will put him in the Hall of Fame. For that entire career, his quarterback was Matt Ryan. So if Julio makes it in, then how can you snub Matt? Because Matt was the one giving him the ball.
What I'm saying is, it happens it happens more often than you think.
I'll say it like this, right? Because I actually went and studied a lot of these passes that Matt and Julio have connected on. Some of these passes, Matt has thrown the ball, and it's like, excuse my French, but hey, fuck it. Julio down there somewhere.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you put it into context, it's like and I'm not saying that neither one of them. I mean, because Julio Jones, we knew who Matt Ryan was coming out, but everybody knew who Julio Jones was coming out.
So that's where I was going. Like Julio Jones, where he came out of Alabama, we knew he was a top.
Everybody knew who Julio was.
Now, who was the quarterback in that Alabama that made him a top pick?
Greg McElroy was just serviceable. That's it.
Yeah. So, Parker Wilson, he had 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's not anything. So, though he had some very unelite, I don't want to use a terrible name. I'm trying to get away from being, saying bad stuff. Though he didn't have great talent at that position, we definitely understood that he was an elite receiver. Like we knew that he was one of the best receivers in the draft. So you don't have to have a great quarterback to see that there's an elite talent.
That's true.
Because this was before your boy showed up to Alabama. This is the Nick Saban that just wanted to his receivers were going to be run blocking more than they were going to catch passes. This is before your boy showed up as an OC over there.
And they were,
I mean,
This is before Lane Kiffin. This is pre-Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, because they were just.
And I get what you're saying, Keely, but this is my only rebuttal. And I'm not saying Matt Ryan gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think he will. I think he'll get in at some point. But like every single standout performance that Julio has, you have to attach Matt Ryan to it as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, how can he make it and Matt Ryan don't? That it just, to me, it's just
Randy Moss was a Hall of Fame receiver before he ever got to New England. He was a Hall of Fame receiver before he got to New England. What quarterback can we connect with Randy Moss?
You keep naming people. You keep naming people who went elsewhere. Julio Jones, his career that will be looked at for him joining. It ain't gonna be him in Tennessee. It ain't gonna be him in Philadelphia. It's gonna be him at Atlanta. And for that entire time, it was Matt Ryan. For his 300-yard game, it was Matt Ryan throwing him the ball.
I get that. What I'm saying is, I don't think it matters if someone left a team or stuck anywhere. The point is, who was throwing him the ball? I get you're saying that, okay, well, Randy Moss shifted teams, T.O. shifted teams. The question is, these were Hall of Fame talent, and they pulled up Hall of Fame numbers, but who were the quarterbacks that were contributing to the Hall of Fame numbers? Were they also Hall of Fame talent? I get you're saying they moved,
and that's what I'm saying.
The ball.
That's what I'm saying. They were putting up those numbers at multiple places. He was putting up.
I don't think that matters. What I'm saying is, who was throwing them the ball? Because no matter where they went, someone had to be throwing them the ball. It's just that Matt was the one that we can point to was throwing Julio the ball. Who was throwing them the ball? No matter where you go, someone has to throw you the ball.
Hey, Tidy, here's probably, I don't know, probably another Waffle House or something, man. It's a 23-minute from the NFL that shows how the Hall of Fame process actually works, like what they actually grade on and how they grade players and stuff like that. I think we should all watch it so everyone has a shared understanding of how they grade players on getting into the Hall of Fame. And this is why I say, after watching those videos about how the NFL process worked when voting on a player to get into the Hall of Fame, you will see that Matt Ryan's will be in the Hall of Fame pretty soon. Will he make first round? I don't know, but he's going to get in there.
Slim, all the voters have a different process of how they come up with who they want. They don't all agree. It's not one Slim process, and
they all sit in a room.
They don't all come to the same answers. Some people say Matt Ryan is in. Some people say he's not in. That's my point. Some people say Andre Johnson is a Hall of Famer. Some said he's not. That's what I'm saying. They all come to different answers. They meet.
But as long as the yays outdo the nays, that's all that matters. That's it. That's all that matters.
No,
I think you're trying to get too technical.
No. What I'm saying is, you said they have a process. All I'm saying is the process is irrelevant to how they come up with who they want. That's all I'm saying. Because they still come to different conclusions. Some people gonna say, like you just said, yay. Some gonna say nay, even though they have the same process.
Yeah, but it's not like they just wake up one morning and say, "Oh, I think that guy should be in the Hall of Fame." No, it's a whole committee, and they vote on a certain amount of names. Who gets that amount? I mean, who gets those? It's one throwback name, so that's why you see one person who years behind. You get. I think it's one person, I think, within a certain time frame, and then it's like three other people who gets who's more recent.
Okay.
But that's why I say we should watch that video so we all have a shared understanding of exactly how it's worked. I'm gonna send it to you.
Some of us
How
already
long
know.
is it?
Without
It's
looking at
23. It's 23 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if we can watch it all because I'll probably get a copyright strike. Who's
Yeah.
the video from?
But
NFL throwback.
my point is, man, like again, I'm not saying that he gonna get in. I'm just saying if Julio gets in, to me, logic will say Matt Ryan absolutely has to get in because he is the one who gave Julio all his numbers. That's all I'm saying.
To me, Matt Ryan's going to get in because Matt Ryan literally fits the criteria for being a Hall of Famer.
So we need to put Dante Culpepper in there too because he was there with what's his name, Randy Moss.
But I don't think that's you can. So let's say Matt throws a 5-yard slant and Julio takes it 80 yards. How much of that is on Matt Ryan and how much of that is on Julio?
80%. The yard goes to Matt Ryan. The yard goes to both of them.
Hold on.
Both of them will get the same numbers.
Yes. I'm not talking about numbers. The voters aren't sitting there just making their decision based upon numbers. They're not stupid. They saw that it was a 5-yard pass and Julio stiffed on 3 defenders on the way to the end zone. That's my point.
Yeah, but he had to throw him the ball. But right. I get what you're saying, bro. But they do look at stats. So the same stats that you got.
But the point I'm making is that Julio has 5 All-Pro selections, right?
Right.
So by that same theory, then Matt should also have 5 All-Pro selections, correct?
Not necessarily. I think you're trying to get.
Hold on.
No. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
If he's responsible for his production, directly responsible for his production, then he will be rewarded in kind because he's talking about he should be rewarded in kind for the Hall of Fame. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, I mean you can't argue with that. But I don't know, man. I just don't see how Julio can get in. Matt don't get in. That's all I'm saying.
I think we assume voters don't sit there and think just like we do. They're humans just like we do. So when we see him at Alabama and Greg McElroy just threw the ball on a slant and Julio did all the work, they see that Julio's the first round pick and Greg McElroy isn't.
But I'm pretty sure they're not going catch for catch. They're not going to grade every single catch.
Just like we do. They see that Greg McElroy isn't a first round talent. They see Julio is. That same logic that's applied to his college production that made him a first round pick and Greg McElroy not a first round pick. That same logic is applied when they watch Matt Ryan throw and Julio catch. Why do you think they will apply a different set of logic for it? It's the same common sense. The same reason we knew Greg McElroy wasn't a first round pick.
Yep. Yeah, that article that's on the screen, that's that's what the Orlando Ledbetter put out when Matt retired in April. So that's actually the most recent, and these are actual voters giving their opinion. So that's actually the most recent opinion.
I'm gonna share the one that I found, Tidy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah.
Because they directly asked a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. Did Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer? And I got the same response that you got. I was gonna save it for Mark though, but I'll send it to you.
Mark in the comments.
No, I'll wait for him when he go on another one of his emotional things.
So I can't read that, Tiny. So what's the cliff notes? What are they saying? Are they saying no or are they saying yeah?
It seemed like they split. It seemed like they split, and normally when they give these paragraph answers, that's normally not a good sign.
But I'm telling y'all,
when you say something, you put "but" in the middle of it, you just erased everything you just said.
Yeah.
When you put the word "but."
But I'm telling y'all, what's gonna get him in is he just signed that network contract. I'm telling y'all, it's about who you know.
But to me, that's
more over than
That's garbage. I want Hall of Famers to go in for what they did on the field, not who.
Oh, coach,
Hey man, it's
oh,
politics,
coach,
man.
Not,
It's
not
politics.
not
oh,
who they
coach.
did it, not who they did it when they was out, out and about. I
The
want them
Hall of
to go
Fame
for
is
what they on the field.
politics, man. It's
Oh, coach.
politics.
No, coach, I'm gonna tell you exactly what they said when I read the article. So the argument was that there are quarterbacks that didn't get in that have a better resume than Matt. And that
Right.
was the reason why they were saying. So they went and specifically list, hey, these are quarterbacks that we did not allow in, and they have a better resume. So that's why they said that they would have trouble voting for Matt to get in.
Hey,
I'm
Slim,
pretty
is
sure.
Donovan McNabb a Hall of Famer to you?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Nope.
I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll probably get in because
I don't
of
think
the
Donovan
off
McNabb,
field
that
stuff.
Donovan McNabb ever get MVP or Rookie of the Year.
I don't think the
I
rookie of the
think it's
year thing.
the because a lot of people were saying Donovan McNabb was a difficult player to get along with, so that stuff follow you.
What'd you say, Keely? You don't think what? You don't think Rookie of the Year counts?
No, what I'm saying, I don't think. No, I don't. You think they're looking at 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions or something, and they thinking that was a great rookie campaign, or was
I
he
think
just the best
I,
of a bad class?
I
I don't
think
think they're celebrating 16 touchdowns. He wasn't even the leading scorer of touchdowns on the team that year.
no. I ain't say nothing about touchdowns. I'm saying Rookie of the Year. I absolutely think that holds sway.
But
That,
as
that's
I was watching the
major.
Cam Newton, as
That's
I was watching
that's a major badge. Like that's a major badge. I think they definitely look at that.
when I was
I mean,
watching the Cam Newton interview with Donovan McNabb, I'm the way Donovan McNabb was talking, I'm pretty sure he understood he might not get in the Hall of Fame, but he was like, shoot, as long as he made a contribution to his team and stuff like that, the stuff that people don't see, he's okay with that. So I'm pretty sure he knows he probably won't get in there.
Well, Matt made some contributions.
Again, I think he should definitely get in, but I'm just saying I don't see how you can snub Matt and give it to Julio. I think they're both. I think if
Well,
Julio gets in,
you're not
if
snubbing
Julio
Matt,
gets
though.
in, I think Matt definitely gets in.
He'll get in
Like I
eventually
said, Matt,
down the line.
Matt ain't. It gonna take Matt at least like 5 years to sit
So then
before
let
he
me
get
ask
in.
y'all this then. Do y'all think Eli Manning should get in the Hall of Fame?
Sam Bradford has a rookie of the year, and his numbers are like I don't know.
Matt can get in because you
Somebody
gotta
got
look
to
at how many records he got. Matt got like rookie of the year, but then he got a whole bunch of like first to different quarterback yardage scale. He
Yeah,
got
Stafford
like
went
10,
right,
he got
went
like
right by
10
that. Stafford came behind him and got right the minute Matt got him. Stafford came right behind, like first to 20,000, first to 30,000. Stafford came right behind him and got him.
Stafford got a ring. So that's why I said like, but at the same time, that's still
No, I'm
an
talking about. I'm
accomplishment
talking
of Matt.
about those. I'm talking about the when Matt had the first to 20,000 or first to 30,000, like those records.
That's why I said like, but Matt had
Stafford
them.
came back and
So,
got. Yeah, I get it.
so that's part of his career achievement. But at the same time, you gotta look at the negative too. Matt fought two biggest comeback losses in the NFL history. The Super Bowl, and then when the India took a turnaround and lost when it was up 33 to 0. That's all gonna be going into consideration. Matt gonna sit at least 5 years before he get into the Hall.
So you talking about 10 years total?
So you better get comfortable in the booth. I'm telling you.
So you talking about 10 years total?
Before you get into the Hall.
You have to say automatic 5. So you talking about adding another 5?
I said at least 10.
Ooh,
his 5, his initial 5, and there's gonna be at least another 5 before he get in there.
I don't see that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, but that's right. It's the same.
The reason I don't think he eventually gets in because the longer, like your percentage chances of getting in don't go up every year, like they go down. So the longer it takes for him to get in,
But
those
he got to
numbers.
be further removed from those losses.
Oh, yeah, we got a
You got
bad
like
echo coming in from somebody.
it's probably that's why I be muting.
Oh, well, hurry up and finish your thought and go back to quiet.
He just remuted.
Good job, Winston.
It probably was.
But I'll second the thought, Winston. I agree that if Matt does get in, he's definitely gonna have to sit for a while. Definitely ain't gonna be first ballot. And as far as Julio, as far as Matt being snubbed, I don't think Matt gonna be snubbed at all if Julio gets in first ballot and he got to sit. Julio was a better player than Matt. Julio was a better player at his position than Matt was. So it ain't no snubbing going on. Everything is gonna work out just the way it's supposed to work out. Julio get in first ballot, and Matt, you gotta sit.
They're intertwined. That's what I'm saying. You literally just cannot say that. Yes, Julio is a great player, but without Matt throwing him the ball, he would not have his numbers. He would.
All right, so
But see, I can't subscribe to that because that don't to me. It's like, well, we saying, well, the only reason why this person is good is because that person, like, not.
Well, there's no other quarterback you could swap out, coach, and Julio would have got the same numbers.
I'm sure, but I'm sure.
There we go. Just like you're sure, the voters are sure.
But again, that is a hypothetical.
If we trade back and don't take Matt and we take Flacco, if we take Flacco instead of Matt, does Julio still have the same 5 All-Pro selections?
It's possible.
I don't know.
I don't think that's a I don't know. I think
no, you can't really answer that question because first off, it's more of a chemistry. So you can't just say, "Well, Julio is the best quarterback." I mean,
he
best
had chemistry
wide
with Greg
receiver.
McElroy. Greg McElroy got him into the first round of the NFL. If he can get chemistry with Greg McElroy,
and you know Flacco throws the ball deep. Julio runs deep route best. Flacco and Julio would have had an instant connection just because of his deep ball accuracy.
But see,
keep in mind, he did carry a team to a Super Bowl. He did carry a team to a Super Bowl, so he's not like
that's true. But Kirk Cousins said it best in one of those interviews. You still, regardless of if a player having success on one team, that doesn't guarantee he's going to have success. Even with the good players that's on this team, is not
there's
guaranteed.
No guarantees in life. That's a
you're right.
So there's no guarantees in life.
That's a super hypothetical to say. Well,
it's
if you got another quarterback,
it's not a super hypothetical.
Because I think Matt Ryan's and Julio connection was just like Patrick Mahomes. The reason why the tight end Kelsey don't want to leave Kansas City, not because he's getting paid, it's because of that connection he has with Patrick Mahomes.
Hold on.
How did Tyreek do when he left?
I got a very important question. When in the hell did Matt Ryan get an S at the end of his name?
I just ignored it.
Okay.
I just ignored it.
Am I tripping? I thought his name was Ryan.
I heard it. I just ignored it.
Y'all be so technical, man.
Here's my question: how did Tyreek do after leaving the
I bet you y'all be writing out math equations of how to have sex. Like, come on, man.
How did Tyreek do after leaving the best quarterback in the NFL?
Keep all that to yourself and answer the question. We don't want to hear all that.
What you think?
How did Tyreek do after leaving the best quarterback in the NFL?
But that's that speed. Nobody could really cover him. Bro, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing.
He's good at his job, bro. He's a good receiver.
Again,
Randy Moss was still Randy Moss, no matter where he went. Randy Moss was still Randy Moss.
Exactly. Randy Moss is still gonna be Randy Moss. But my point is, though, Julio didn't. Randy Moss left, still put up amazing numbers. T.O. left, still put up amazing numbers.
Don't do that. Don't do that, coach. Don't do that, coach.
What? Don't do what?
Go ahead. You know that man was busted up, but go ahead, man.
His career that they are going to look at is solely in Atlanta. That's I understand T.O. went elsewhere. I understand Jerry Rice went elsewhere. I understand all these people went elsewhere, but and they had long, more of a career. But the entirety of what they're going to look at with Julio Jones is only going to be in Atlanta. They ain't going to look at the garbage in Tennessee. They ain't going to look at the garbage in Philly because he ain't do shit.
Everybody already wrote that off. Everybody wrote those.
That's what I'm saying.
I watched Emmitt Smith in Arizona. It did not change my mind on the fact that he was a Hall of Famer.
4 years in Arizona too. 4 sorry ass years in Arizona.
I didn't even know what that long. But
that's what I'm saying. His work that they looked at for the Hall of Fame was him in Dallas.
Man.
But looking at Julio for his work in Atlanta ain't gonna help Matt Ryan out. If anything, it's gonna hurt Matt Ryan. They're gonna wonder why his ass didn't have a touchdown.
Red, when it comes to you and Matt Ryan's, man, it's like, shoot, Matt Ryan's got off the bus wrong. He garbage. Like, come on, man. Matt Ryan will never do anything good in your eyes, man.
I said he would get in eventually, didn't I?
What's up, fellas? If I saw Julio do something outside of being with Matt, then you would have a point. I ain't never seen Julio Jones do ish without Matt Ryan. Period.
That's my point.
Why do you have that expectation of a 30-some-year-old receiver that's been busted up with all type of injuries?
Now we got excuses for him. I saw T.O. perform.
How's that an excuse?
I saw T.O. perform at that age. I saw Randy Moss perform at a later age. Julio ain't done nothing without Matt Ryan. I need you to name a wide receiver that played with Matt Ryan and left and succeeded. I'll sit here and wait. No, I won't. They don't exist. Stop the cap, bro. You just say you don't like Matt Ryan face and be done with it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
No.
They probably punch the wall before they leave out the house.
Yes, this Larry was a very bad argument. I do not have the expectation. I do not have the expectation that a guy is going to walk out of the Falcons organization at 30 plus some years old and play as the same he played when he walked in at 21. Like, that just doesn't make sense. We're all men, and we know that at 35, we do not move like we do at 21. Like, that just doesn't make any sense.
So why are we playing a hypothetical game, bro?
All right, so for example, he got Tony Gonzalez at the end of his career. Was Tony Gonzalez better with Matt or prior to that?
Both. Tony Gonzalez didn't. It was both. It was good both.
Tony Gonzalez came there as an old man, right? Was those the best years of his career with Matt Ryan, or was the best years before him?
He was like
we got common sense here. We got common sense here. He was clearly a better tight end before he arrived in Atlanta because he was older. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, but Keely, my point is, when he was here in Atlanta, he still was putting up he was
Matt Ryan's go-to target.
Here's what I'm saying. Was he better?
No, he wasn't better, but he was still putting up numbers.
He was still performing at a high caliber.
It was way more weapons with the Falcons.
Right. Julio didn't leave the Falcons and put up.
So hold on. So why do we not apply that same logic? So was Julio a first option anywhere else that he went?
No.
Okay,
Julio was a journeyman. When he left Atlanta, he became
Julio
a journeyman.
ever going to get the same amount of targets anywhere else that he was getting in Atlanta?
He actually did at the beginning of Tennessee, and then they were like, he can't do anything. Like, they were trying to force him the ball.
And they also had number 11 over there.
They had Brown.
He wasn't going to get those same targets in Tennessee because AJ Brown. That's what
I know that, but I'm saying
he was the first option.
No, coming out of camp, he was the second option, and he literally played himself off the team.
He had to be the third option, Larry, because they had Derrick Henry.
No. I'm talking about pass
receiving option.
Well, no, I'm saying, but he was the third option in their offense, though.
I know that, but Derrick Henry was the number one option regardless of who was there. You know what I'm saying?
You're saying receiving option.
I'm saying receiving.
I get what he's saying, but with our offense, Julio was number one. In our offense,
Smith outplayed Julio. Look, man,
that man got 48 targets.
Julio ain't never been nothing without Matt Ryan.
But I also gotta say this though. Julio was hurt. Julio stayed hurt.
Act like he
didn't play one game and
he was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. You saying he wouldn't be a 5-time All-Pro with Aaron Rodgers? Like it's just
show me this ain't Madden. You can show me this ain't Madden. This ain't your hypothetical. You get your Julio card.
Keely judged off of Madden stats, so you know what I mean. You got
to Slim. This ain't the part where you want to start talking. Slim, this ain't
Keely judged off Madden stats. That man be like the hell.
Slim, trust me. You want to pipe down right now.
I'm just saying. For me, I feel like
stop. So you figure out that Matt Ryan is a singular person. You might want to pipe down.
I feel that Matt Ryan and Julio are joined at the hip.
That's what I'm saying.
That's your feelings. You feel that way.
No, that's their career.
No, but you say I feel. That's the problem. You say I feel. Those are your feelings.
No, that's actually the truth.
That's the truth, bro.
Your state. I'm talking about what came out your mouth. You said I feel.
Because like my opinion varies from yours. That's why I said that.
Is Roddy White and Matt
that's
Ryan
your feeling? That's your feeling.
No, that is the fact. But I'm saying feeling because you differ in your opinion.
I think we need to figure out the definition between feelings and fact, because those are your feelings, those are your opinions.
Fact.
See, I think both of y'all what I'm getting at is
joined at the hip. If that's the case, that him and Greg McElroy are joined at the hip, and they weren't. He was a first round pick. Greg McElroy wasn't. They're not joined at the hip.
Is Matt Ryan and Roddy White connected at the hip?
No, Roddy White played with
Michael Vick.
So my gosh, we're not.
Michael Vick, bro, he wasn't even productive until 2007 when Vick was out the league. Like he crossed 1,200 yards with Chris Redman. Vick was gone. Like he's not attached to Michael Vick. He barely registered a stat with Michael Vick.
Like I said, this is how it is when it comes to Matt Ryan.
That's the worst for y'all.
Is you're either gonna hate him or you're gonna love him. That's just it. That's the whole.
I don't think that's correct. I don't think it's a hate or love thing. I think what it is that there are people who. Here's my beef with the. I don't have beef with Matt Ryan. I have beef with the fans that deflected everything away from Matt Ryan and put it on everybody else. So, for example, we had a young guy I'm not going to call him out by his name, who, when we were discussing the NFC Championship game, we went through the offensive drives, and he was sitting there talking about the defense and not the failures of the offense. So it's kind of like Matt Ryan shoots somebody, and he's going to be like, well, why you duck? You know, and bro, like he the one who did it.
The reality of the situation is, because you're talking about me, is that there's two sides of the game, bro. He had a 17
and you do not want to discuss the one that specifically pertains to Matt.
The truth is, everybody on this panel except Keely and Red says it was a team loss. Keely and Red are the only two people that says it was Matt Ryan's fault.
All right, that's it. You just hold on, because we have to stop dumbness in its tracks. What I said was, in the game, there's an offense on the field, right? Are we gonna blame the defense when the offense is on the field? So if Roddy drops a pass, are we blaming the cornerback on the team?
No one said that.
No. You just said that everyone plays a part on a team. Everyone has a job.
So when the defense is on the field, is Matt Ryan's playing cornerback? Is Matt Ryan's playing middle linebacker? When the defense on the field,
you're catching on.
No, I'm telling you, it was a team loss. It was a team loss. Everybody,
hold on.
everybody says that.
Also, all right. So within the team loss, we can't discuss specific plays within the team loss.
Matt Ryan didn't have a good game.
We do it every single time we talk about the Super Bowl. We talk about a missed block from Devontae. We talk about this. We talk about this missed block. Do we not talk about specific plays in a team loss? Is that not the case?
But
so
the people on the same side are saying, although yes, everyone contribute to the loss, overall it was a team loss.
No one is disputing the team loss, Slim. What I am saying is, okay, get past the fact that we lost. That's obvious. We know they lost. We're discussing the game at this point. So when you're discussing the game, are we not allowed to talk about the mistakes that Matt made, or we could just only discuss?
No, you can. But you can't use what Matt Ryan's mistake and say, well, then that's the whole blanket umbrella to the whole game.
That's not what happened.
Everybody,
that's not what happened. If I say this is a key play in the game,
don't argue that, bro. That fumble was terrible. We all agreed that fumble.
Can I get an all-star plate with a large OG, please? I came in late.
Order up. I got you, big dog.
The problem is when we say, hey, the fumble cost the game. The fumble was very problematic to winning the game. Well, the defense didn't do their part. We're talking about the fumble.
I mean, in my opinion, as I said before, I think everybody blaming the wrong person. To me, the blame is solely on the coach. You don't stop running the ball.
But we're not specifically talking about one game. We're talking about in the discussion of football, period. Any game. That's what I'm saying.
I thought y'all was talking about the Super Bowl.
I agree with Coach.
Super Bowl, it was not on Matt. Super Bowl was not on Matt at all.
So who is on?
It's on the coach.
I thought it was a team loss.
It's honestly on the entire team.
It's on the entire team. The entire team.
It's on the defense. It's on the offense.
It's on this. It's on that. But Lord forbid somebody pointed at anybody.
It wasn't Matt. We all know that it wasn't Matt. It was a complete team.
It was everybody but Matt.
Well, Mark, if you say it's a complete team loss, Matt was a part of the team.
Yeah,
so
Matt a part of
I'll say this: if the coach did what
why do people struggle with that to say that Matt contributed to the loss? Like,
but when they say it's a team loss, that means Matt Ryan's is part of the team. He was part of the loss.
When somebody says it's everybody but Matt, then that is the exact opposite of that.
You want people to tickle your ego and say, "Well, yeah, it was Matt." If that's what you want us to say, just say it.
I don't want nobody to tickle my ego. I want people to stop being retarded. That's what I want. And I try not to use that kind of language. But if you keep talking retarded, then I have no other word.
So when somebody say it was a team loss, they including Matt Ryan's. It's just that you don't have to say it. You don't have to say Matt Ryan.
What did you just hear Mark say? Did he say team loss, or what did he say?
He said everybody.
He did not say that,
bro.
No, he did. He said it was not on Matt.
Thank you.
It was a team
why we got all the time being real retarded?
It was a team collapse, but we are not going to sit here and act like Matt didn't have the highest passer rating in Super Bowl history.
Oh, if everybody fought but Matt, is that what you're saying? I'm asking.
I'm saying he is. If there's a list of guys, he's not top 3, he's not top 4. There's a lot of guys.
Come on, man. He just give a lot of BS.
There you go. There you go. That's the issue. The person that has the greatest effect on wins and losses is the one person who has the dissolve.
But again, if the coach had did what he was supposed to do, it wouldn't even be a discussion if the issue was.
There's a lot of points in that game where if somebody would have done something, everyone plays a part.
That's what everybody who loses a game say.
Like we were doing, it wouldn't have been an issue.
That's what every player that loses a game say. We left a lot of points on the field. Like
Kyle Shanahan did an interview, and indirectly he pointed right back to Matt because he was like, "Well,
Matt Ryan had a 144 passer rating.
All
How
right.
can
Why
you
do
Of
you?
be
course,
Oh
Kyle
my God.
Shanahan gonna be
how
there.
can you
Who
be
All
you
right.
that
gonna
much
give us a
better?
net, Slim? I mean, not
All right.
Slim, but Mark.
So
Bro,
How
of
here's
can
the
you be
course,
thing
that
about
Kyle
much
it.
better?
Shanahan gonna
Again,
be there.
I hate that when people rely on numbers so much, we ignore context because anyone would
144,
hold on, because anyone would say, well, who
bro.
watched the game would say
Keely,
that
we
hold
get
on.
it. You're going to turn whatever I say and make it was Matt
This
Of
Ryan's
is what
course
fault.
I
he
mean by
is. Finally,
emotional. This is
someone
what I mean
says it.
by
Of
We
emotional
get
course he
it, bro.
is.
You
because
you do the
this
same
is why
thing
I
every
talk. This
Friday
is why
night,
y'all
bro.
emotional because y'all cannot have a conversation that just on football. It distracts from everything else. You can rebut. You are open to rebut anything I'm saying as a lie. If it just let it actually come out. If I'm not
Okay,
telling the
okay,
truth,
go ahead. Go
give
ahead.
give me a football retort. If he threw an interception, say, "Oh no, that wasn't his fault. Roddy ran too shallow on the route." Give a football retort besides, "Oh, but you're talking about top five quarterback. Oh, you just don't like him." Those are emotional responses. Those are not football responses.
A passer rating of 144. Do you not
Okay, and here's
realize
the
that there's
and
not
here.
much more he could have did but be perfect? So you're saying
Okay,
that Matt Ryan
Mark,
can't
we
be
gonna
perfect.
all right,
Mark, you gonna
all
say
right,
that
Mark,
stat to the ground,
you
man.
ready? Mark. So
You said have a football response. I gave you that his rating was
Double.
144. How much
okay,
better can he be in the biggest game of his life?
all right, you ready?
Easy.
You
He
ready?
could have called. He could have called an audible and ran the ball after that Julio catch.
All right. So Mark, here's my question for you. All right. Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Absolutely.
All right. Which would you say was the better game from Matt? The Green Bay game in which he had 392 yards and 4 touchdowns and 27 completions against Green Bay, or the New England game where he had 2 touchdowns, 284 yards, and just 17 completions.
I mean, the biggest game on a neutral field.
I'm saying which one is the better quarterback performance, sir?
It's the Green Bay game.
I would say the Green Bay because here, but there's a lot of
Hold on. Can I
variables
finish,
in that
Slim? If you
though.
don't mind, can I finish the point, Slim?
I mean,
All
if
right.
you're asking me, that is not as easy as you make it seem.
Yeah,
Again, we was
thank you,
What
thank
am I
you.
making seem? I'm not making anything seem. I just asked a question. Which one was the
Because you
better
can't
quarterback
compare
performance?
those two games.
you can't.
That's why.
They're both great
Because the Green
games.
Bay game was a regular. I mean, although it was a playoff game, but the timing was regular, so they had the same halftime, which was what 13 minutes. But if you're talking about the
Bro,
Super
you're
Bowl,
blaming.
that's a
You're
whole
reaching
different.
too far because
No,
now you're
what I'm
talking
getting
about
at is,
have
but those
Slim,
are two different games,
Slim,
so
Slim,
you can't really
How's
compare
the
Slim.
those
time?
two.
Emotion.
How's the time in regular is the playoff game, sir?
He talking about the halftime.
The
I'm talking.
halftime was way longer. No, that the time
I'm
is
talking
way
about what
longer.
Keely
All right,
talking
all right,
about. The Green Bay game in that game.
He talking about the Green Bay game and the
all
Super
right.
Bowl game.
Hold on.
They're both great games.
All right. Let me ask somebody who's not being emotional at the moment. Who
Keely,
by
you're
show
only
of
saying the
hands?
Green Bay game is better because we know that we won the game, bro.
No,
That's what he's
see,
getting at.
hold on. See, y'all so emotional.
How is that
Y'all,
emotional? You ask me a question and I give you an answer, bro.
because you're trying to answer where you think I'm going, and that's not where I'm going.
What?
That's not at all where
So,
I'm going.
so he's
It's not a
trying to
well off
lead you.
question.
He should be a lawyer. He's trying to lead you.
Slim. Let Keely finish and see what he's trying to say because I'm trying to see what he's trying to say too.
Yeah, I was
Because
say
it
let him
has.
finish.
for it. Go ahead,
Let him
though. Go
finish.
ahead.
Let him finish.
If the emotions will calm down, I'll be able to finish because it's not. I didn't have anything about win and loss. It has nothing to do with that. 390. All I want to know is 392 yards and 4 touchdowns. Is that considered a better performance than 284 and 2?
Yes. Yes.
No,
Thank you, coach.
but
Thank
Yes.
you, coach.
Keely,
Thank you, coach. It's a
Keely,
better quarterback
you come in here and
performance.
you talk about context all day, every day, bro. You got to remember we had a pick six
You
in that
interrupted
game.
me, and you haven't even heard. Matt Ryan didn't throw an interception in the Green Bay game. So what are you
He
talking
threw an
about?
interception in
See,
the Super Bowl.
that's a leading question, man. See, he's going to
Bro,
keep
y'all are
asking
so
you that
emotional
question
that
until
y'all
you.
jumping. Y'all haven't
That's
even let
not
me finish.
emotional. That's not
He's
emotional. What are
talking
you
about he
talking
threw an
about? But
interception,
to
and
acknowledge the fact
Bruh.
that you're asking a
Matt
leading
literally had
question.
the perfect game against Green Bay. That was arguably the greatest playoff game he's ever played.
Bro, he threw
He didn't
6
throw it in.
incompletions in the Super Bowl. How is that not a great game? That's the biggest game of your career against the greatest quarterback.
Maybe your emotions are not allowing you to hear, because I didn't say that the Super Bowl was great or not great. What I said was the Green Bay game was arguably the greatest game that he's ever played. He threw 4 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, plus a running touchdown. That's a 5th touchdown that Matt Ryan scored. He scored 5 touchdowns in the game, 392 yards.
Yeah, so okay, in fantasy football, yes, I would have had liked that Green Bay game more. I would have got more fantasy points.
And in common sense, 392 yards is more than 200 something. And in common sense, 5 touchdowns is more than 2.
We had
it's not a fantasy.
Okay. So you're right. So continue, please.
Thank you. It took 3 hours to get to this simple point. Even though that was the greater game, the greater performance, his quarterback rating was higher in the Super Bowl, even though he was abysmal for a half. Literally, the greatest playoff game he ever played.
Yards.
But hold on. Well, that's not true. But Keely, what I would say, you making a point. But
I know I have a point. It just took 3 hours to get it because of the
You got to stop saying he's making a point because he's leading. That's what he's doing.
No. The point is very simple. Even though Matt had arguably the best playoff game he's ever had in his career,
you are airing his head up, man. You keep saying he's making a point. He's not making a point. He's leading.
I mean,
he's going to keep asking you a question.
The point may be just going over your head, but it's a very valid point. It's very simple to understand.
He's making a very valid point right now.
He's making a point because 300 some odd yards is better than 2. But as I was going to say,
touchdowns
284. We're talking about a difference of 30 yards, y'all.
Hold on, let me finish, and you will hear what I'm saying. Keely is making the point that he did better in the Green Bay game than he did in the Super Bowl. But Keely, what you're not taking into consideration is the game plan for the Super Bowl was to run the ball. That's why he didn't need
I'm not discussing game plan. I'm challenging the statistic. That's people are making all these talking about win-loss. Everyone making these assumptions without even listening. That's my point. The only point I was making, he's talking about 144.
His passer rating?
Thank you. He was saying, and it's the greatest ever.
But what he's getting at is
he played a better game, and it wasn't as high as that. That's my point.
I think what he's getting at when he say his passer rating, he's talking about his efficiency of passing the ball. He's not necessarily saying.
Can I ask Keely a question? His passer rating was higher in the Green Bay game because we didn't run as much as we did in the Super Bowl.
Coach,
in the Super Bowl,
you got it reversed, Coach. You got it reversed. It was not higher in the Green Bay game. That's the point I'm making. It was higher on the Patriots.
Yeah, it was higher against the Patriots. Can I ask Keely a question right quick? Keely, I see the point that you're making about Matt Ryan's best game. I agree that was Matt Ryan's best game as a Falcon, the Green Bay game. I don't think anybody can really debate that.
Clearly we got people who deny it.
Well, what I'll say is I think that what Mark is trying to get at is probably the greatest defensive coordinator in NFL history going against him, adjustments. But what I will say is I like how you brought that up about Matt Ryan's, best game. Okay. So not putting any emotion in anything. Tell me a game that Julio Jones had without Matt that was greater than anything that he did with Matt. Let's take the emotion out of it. Right.
Okay. Here's what I would say. I feel like
you can't play both sides of the fence and say hypothetically. If he would have went to the other team, we're talking about statistics, we're talking about facts and what was done on the field. So unless you can give me an example of Julio Jones, again, take your feelings out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have no feelings attached.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's no feelings attached,
I am not Slim on Mark. I have no feelings attached.
But
no, you over there crying, man.
No, he's over there shivering.
Stop.
I'm shivering. Who has me shivering?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's why he letting the beard grow out. He's stressing out over there.
We keep having Keely,
listen,
Hold on.
Keely, I'm not
I'll tune out the Smurf. All right.
Keely, Keely, I'm not even trying to dog you. I want you to see the hypocrisy on what you're saying.
What's hypocritical? Specifically state what's hypocritical.
Because you're telling Mark to get out his feelings about Matt Ryan, but in the same turn, you're in your feelings about Julio having
what statement? What did I give you? Hold on. So I'm going to respond as you make the accusation. What have I said that gave any appearance that I am emotional about Julio?
You said that Matt and Julio aren't linked.
Hold on, Smurf.
No, let me talk. All right. So when you say think logically about it instead of, you think he couldn't have did that, and then you say, okay, well, look at Tony G coming to Atlanta. Was he better then or then? So we got to think logically that, okay, Julio could have been better if he went somewhere else. But you go back at him and Mark and say, hey, I wasn't talking about percentage stuff like that. I wasn't even talking about the win. You just said what's a better game.
Different. You're conflating two different things. He literally made an error in assuming what I was bringing up the Green Bay game about, because it wasn't about wins or losses.
I mean, again,
so he literally
Larry,
he made
I know
a
you
false
try to say
assumption.
that is not debatable, but how can you have the greatest game as a quarterback in the Super Bowl and that not be arguably your best game in your career? That is debatable. Like the NFC.
Mark.
I don't know.
Mark. So the point I was making is
6 incompletions. He was in position to win that game.
So who had a better game that day, him or Brady?
I would say that Matt was his most dominant in that Green Bay game. He was not his most dominant, regardless on what the percentages say. He was not at his most dominant.
Thank you, Larry, for helping.
Because
now let's get Mark to start with that. Thank you.
If he
Larry.
was, we wouldn't want to get. And I don't even blame Matt. Only thing I blame Matt is he didn't grow some cojones, stick the bird to Kyle Shanahan
and run the damn ball. Exactly.
That's
if we talking about where Matt Ryan's take the blame, that what I would give Matt Ryan blame for. He didn't do an audible at the line. But outside of that, I don't think. I think
Larry finish, please. Everybody, you don't be talking about nothing anyway, Slim. Let Larry finish his Julio.
No. So my point is, if we're gonna just go on straight numbers and stuff like that, we really can't talk about. I mean, I can't say.
But that's a big if, because to be clear, I never said we were just going straight on numbers. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, I can't take away Emmett away from Troy Aikman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't.
I can't take Michael Irvin away from Troy Aikman.
You can't.
So that get into the hypothetical world, bro. I mean,
no. You're talking about you. So for me, again, I brought up the Julio Alabama example. I can separate. I knew that he was a first round talent, and I knew that Greg McElroy wasn't.
Okay,
they weren't linked.
Fair.
They weren't linked. I knew. Hold on. I knew that at every stop that T.O. went, at every single stop, I knew T.O. was a Hall of Fame receiver.
Julio
when he was playing with Jeff Garcia, I still knew that he was a Hall of Fame receiver, even though Jeff Garcia wasn't. I didn't think Tony Romo was a Hall of Fame quarterback.
But I knew Matt T.O. has produced without Julio. Julio has not produced with
Julio. Don't compare to T.O. I said it. He don't.
And that's your opinion. But
also,
with that being said, I just gave examples of how receivers are not directly linked to their quarterback. Which quarterback is Randy Moss directly linked to?
But again, Keely, this is what we messing it up at.
So that's where we differ. You don't think he's an all-time great.
But the thing is, yes, you're going to have Slim. Yes, you're going to have some wide receivers. Yes, you're going to have some wide receivers that can go to another team and still produce.
Can I finish with Larry first? Larry, me and Larry, let me just go ahead and finish.
All I'm going to say is yes, you can have other wide receivers go to another team and still produce, but that still doesn't take away the fact that Julio had his best years with Matt Ryan's. Them two are
nobody said that he didn't.
But they are linked.
Who else could he have them with? He's the only quarterback. Who else could Julio have his best days with? He's the
What I'm
only quarterback he
when he
played.
went to another team, he wasn't producing. Like, so the point they're trying to make is they are
What did
linked
Jerry Rice
together.
do when he was in Seattle?
It doesn't matter about what Jerry Rice did. It doesn't matter about what a damn Roach did. It doesn't matter. We're talking about Julio Jones and Matt Ryan's.
Look, if I provide an example of another receiver who is great but didn't do anything later on in his career because he was old, whether or not you want to accept the example, that's up to you. However, it's valid. He's another Hall of Fame talent that in the end of his career went somewhere and was not as productive because of compoundment of injuries, age, everything. You're just not the same as you were at 21.
But again, what you're saying to miss is Jerry.
I can't deny that he stays injured. He's been injured pretty much his whole career.
Right. So like there's no guarantees with Julio.
The Hall of Famers
there's no guarantees with anything in life. There's no guarantee that we'll make it to another Friday. That's a very low bar. Like no guarantees. There's no guarantee to anything in life.
Right. So why are you trying to guarantee that Julio would dominate?
When did I say that, emotional guy? When did I make that statement?
Bro,
when did I guarantee anything?
Examples that Julio would produce.
That's what people do when they have an argument. They give examples.
Yes, and we're trying to explain to you that you can't use that example, bro, because we saw Julio go other places and he did not perform.
So you just didn't comprehend the example because I gave an example of another receiver who at the end of their career.
Every sentence that comes at you, bro. That's not
he's
how
going to get literal. I keep telling y'all, he's going to lead you, man. You in the wrong occupation, man. You need to be a lawyer or something, man. This dude is going to lead you. He's going to ask you another question just so you can say yes. Then he say, well, all the other questions you automatically agree to.
Slim, that's what he do. With all due respect.
That's what he do.
Slim, with all due respect.
Man, you in the wrong occupation, man.
Slim, with all due respect, I just think a lot of things just go over your head.
So, it ain't going over my head. Everybody is saying the same thing. The only person
everybody is not saying the same.
Only person is Red, your hype man. That's the only person who say, you know what, this dude is talking like Nostradamus out here.
How many straight bullets I gotta take, man?
Only person talking like Nostradamus is Red, man.
Slim.
I'm down here minding my business,
Slim.
You my dog,
Larry is literally sitting here directly arguing against my point. And even when he hears a point from me, he acknowledges it. When he says Green Bay was definitely the best game of his career, he acknowledged it. So
no, he agreed with you. He agreed.
That means he agreed with my point, Mark. Stop.
No, you just said he's debating with you, but you only count that as debate.
Hold on. Again, Coach does not agree with everything I say, but when I make a point and he agrees with it, he agrees with it,
bro. You just be.
Hey, did y'all go to the game? Did y'all go to the practice thing today?
Nah, I didn't get to go.
I brought 6 tickets and forgot I had to go to work.
Happens when people just don't have a good argument. Like people resort to all this stuff. Like I said, you can either make a football retort or you can just deviate into all these semantics. Oh, you just don't like them. Oh, you just do this. Oh, you just do that.
Go elsewhere.
Hold on, everybody. Let me make.
So here's my question: is that not a valid and reasonable explanation that when Julio left, he was not the same receiver that he was in his prime with Matt? Is that not a reasonable?
Hey, Keely, can I ask you a question, Keely?
Here's my question: is that not reasonable?
Can I answer?
My question.
Like the answer.
Yeah, go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
Yes, Keely, you are absolutely right. But so again, we're going to compare apples and apples. You are right. Julio left. He didn't have he was at the ass end of his career. All that you are right about. But again,
why is Slim saying dumb shit?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
I go back to what I said previously with when they look at Julio's career, when they go to the record books for the Hall of Fame, they're not going to look at those 2 shitty teams he was with because he didn't do anything. The entirety of what they're going to look at is him here in Atlanta, just like they did with Jerry Rice. I'm sure they did not look at those garbage years of Jerry Rice and he left They only looked at him when
I
he was
agree, Coach. I agree. The reason I made that statement is because of Larry's statement of why didn't he do anything after Matt. That was the point. Not that it's going to factor into consideration. The reason I made that statement was because of Larry's direct question of why didn't he do anything after Matt. And my response to that was because he was older and broken up. That was my response.
That's true.
He played for Tampa Bay
up,
and had a okay, not okay, but he played for Tampa Bay and had some good catches when Tom Brady was out there.
Was he still an all-pro receiver at that point? Is my question.
He wasn't even a backup receiver, man. Come on.
Yeah,
one thing I do want to ask Keely.
That's on point. Go ahead.
Keely, you know the all-time yardage where Matt sits, right? I think he sits at number 7, retired at 15 years. Look at the people he passed. Didn't they play 20 plus years?
Okay.
I mean, look, I think Matt will be a Hall of Fame, but he's gonna have to wait. I think
I'm real quick, Larry, so you don't lose this point. Just let me real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's currently at 7, and you say he's going to have to wait. Do you think he will still be at 7 by the time he's finished waiting?
Do I think
no?
He'll still be at
because
7?
we're going into a passing league.
Most likely,
we're not going into a passing league. We've been in a passing league.
Most likely not. But what I'm saying is,
it doesn't matter when he retired. It is what it is.
No, what I'm saying is, if guys that they're saying his contemporaries are gonna make it in, but it took them 20 years to accomplish what Matt did in 15. What I'm thinking is, if Julio get in first or second ballot, and all people see is the ball coming from Matt Ryan to him, I think it matter getting. Also, I really think like if Dan Fouts can get in, that's kind of who I compare Matt Ryan to.
I mean, Dan Fouts has a whole bunch of All-Pro selections as well.
He led the league in. What you're saying, but
why is this guy moaning because I bring up a football point?
No.
Who is he playing against, man? Was he playing against Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees? Was he?
He was playing against Joe Montana, Dan Marino.
No, he was actually playing against the Steelers. He was playing in the AFC against the Steelers, which is one of the best defenses of all time. So yeah, I give Dan Fouts his props. What I'm saying is, I give Dan Fouts his props.
His point is there are other quarterbacks that were keeping Matt from the top, but he played with other. Dan Fouts played with great quarterbacks as well. We'll continue.
Yeah, I mean, look, man,
I'm with you, Dixon. I think if Julio gets in, I don't think, like I said earlier, I don't think
we can agree to disagree. Y'all feel like they linked. If we can sit here with the same logic to not link Greg McElroy and Julio, I don't understand how that same logic wouldn't apply.
Because they didn't play with each other.
A couple years.
They only played like 2 years with each other.
Together.
All right. If they were directly linked, then they would probably have the same success. Like if he has 5 All-Pros, then he would have 5 All-Pros if they were directly linked.
And here's another thing. Matt Ryan came out of his mouth and said words similar to how him and Julio Jones are linked. Because Matt Ryan's even said without Julio, he wouldn't even be where he's at. So
I think they're linked.
Let me ask you this. Keely, who's Michael Irvin's quarterback?
Troy Aikman. They're linked.
Okay. Who is Jerry Rice's quarterback? I know he had
Joe Montana.
I know Troy Aikman had 2. I mean, I know Michael Irvin had 2.
Who's Steve Largent's quarterback?
Joe Montana.
Who's Steve Largent's quarterback?
No one knows or cares about who
Steve Largent is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Steve Largent is first ballot Hall of Famer. Who's he directed? Jim Zorn, who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
I'm saying is you can give examples and I can give you examples of the count.
Did Warren Moon end his career there?
But you're not really though. You talk about if Julio can't be linked to Matt because he not linked to his college quarterback. My question is,
all I'm saying is you gave examples of quarterbacks that link. I gave you an example of one that's not.
But listen.
Marvin
My
Harrison.
question is,
What about Marvin
my
Harrison?
question.
Okay, so you want me to keep? We can keep giving examples.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a give and take, man.
Larry Fitzgerald.
I got one quick question.
Okay. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald's. Yeah, he's just a beast.
It's all talked about the final.
So that same application, you don't think people could just think Julio's a beast? I'm not saying you have to, but you don't think others might think that way?
I think two things could be true. I think Julio's a beast.
You didn't see it, but I'm saying he's a 5-time All-Pro. Somebody saw it.
But hey, y'all, I'm about to go ahead. Hey, y'all boy be good though.
All right, you enjoy your evening.
All right, Slim.
All right, y'all. Hey, Red, I got the chain for you. It got Keely name on it too. So if you ready for it, give me your address. I'll mail it to you. All right. It got the great beard and all too.
You just make sure you learn the English language by next week, okay? Get out of here.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot to take S out of Matt Ryan's. All right, y'all boy be good though.
Talk shit. Take your ass.
Anybody else got some football points?
I got a quick question though. This ain't got nothing to sponsor, but how y'all feel about this new kickoff, man? I really don't.
I can't hear you, bro. What do you think?
Anybody trying to talk about that, bro?
Not a new kickoff, man. I don't really like it. I know I'm being all talked about Matt Ryan, but I don't like the new kickoff. Like how they got the ball on 35-yard line.
They said today. I was listening to it on I think it was the Dan Patrick show. They were saying that it's supposedly supposed to lead to more run backs, more kick returns. That's what it's supposed to do, but I mean that's to be seen.
It worked in the XFL, so that's what it stole it from.
Right. So I think in the XFL they get way more run backs. And that's what the NFL is about, flashy plays. So flashy plays bring money, so yeah.
I don't like it. This should change the next season. I like how they had it last year. Like you kick the ball and you got to go all the way to the other field to get it. I just don't like it. Me personally, because I feel like they're not gonna take the integrity of the game like that. It ain't gonna be fun no more.
Yeah, what I think is worse is that you got to declare you kicking the onside. Where if a team know I'm kicking it offside, they're gonna be prepared for it. So it kind of defeats the purpose of me trying to do it onside.
Exactly. I think they're trying to get rid of the onside kick.
I think they're trying to get rid of kickoff. Period. I think they want to get rid of just start a motherfucker at the 20. You score, start at the 20. Period.
Yeah, it's not the same game as it used to be, man.
It's not. It definitely is not.
It's just not. So I would love to see Tyreek Hill play in a running lot era and come across that middle if you want to. So, yeah. Or Ed Reed.
I was about to say, or Ed Reed, or Troy Polamalu, or
Atwater.
Y'all trying to kill the kid, ain't you?
Well, that's what I'm saying, man.
People complaining though, they'll change it.
Well, my main thing is
I heard Keely they gonna change it after this season.
I don't think they're gonna. You know why I don't think they're gonna change it? Because they tired of paying these players once they retire. For suing them.
But I did hear that.
That's why I temper these wide receivers of this generation, or even tight ends, are better than previous generations. They can't get touched.
Yeah, they can't get touched. Yeah.
Well, it's a totally different league, which is why I always make the case when y'all bring up like certain numbers of certain people, like it's a different league, different rules, different everything.
Yeah.
Nah, it's even worse now.
Yeah, which is why my point the other day still stands firm that Dandy Dan is the greatest of all times because he did it when you could straight up maul wide receivers as they was going out for passes.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to debate it.
I think he's arguably the most talented quarterback we've ever
Hey,
seen.
coach. I need to
Yes,
ask you
sir.
something.
Yes, sir.
What's up with your boy Drake May?
I don't know. Is he not? I haven't been paying attention. Is he not doing
Oh,
good?
Yo, they said
I saw
Joe
a
Milton
report
is
that the
about
other
to beat
kid was
him.
gonna start.
They said
I
that
saw a
Joe
report the other
Milton is
kid.
gonna beat him.
Wait a minute. So
Milton
Drake,
beat
you
him?
tell me Drake May number 3?
Joe Milton might beat him out.
Joe been balling in camp.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's also a rookie. He also needs to. I think all rookie quarterbacks need to sit. Period.
Milton a rookie. Milton a rookie.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I haven't been following them. I don't know who they got or what's been going on. I seen that Justin Fields was balling out and he may take the spot, and that was about it.
Yeah, I think so too. And
I
I
think
think JJ
Justin
McCarthy
Fields
start
is
in
gonna be the
Minnesota.
quarterback we face in week 1.
Yeah, I think Fields gonna be.
I
I
think
think
so
it.
too.
I think he's balling because Russ is hurt. I mean, I think it just
Yeah,
appears like he's balling.
if he get most of the snaps during preseason, then they probably gonna make him a starter at least for
I'm
week
gonna
1.
be really worried if Justin playing that game because he know the Falcons said no to him. He got a little
Look,
list.
we got a quarterback
We gotta
now,
contain
so
him.
Justin can come
All I'm
and do whatever. We got a quarterback now.
Yeah, we gotta contain him. All that trying to slam out the pocket.
My concern is Russ.
Bro, I can hear you talking, but I don't know if anybody else can hear you. But I can't hear nothing you saying.
It just sounds like mumbling. Like it's so low.
Hold on. Let me see.
I was gonna
You hear
say
me now?
something weird, but
yeah, it's way
everybody
too low. But
Oh,
yeah,
Larry, you got all your questions out, Larry?
yeah, man. I already done ate my All-Star with the appreciate that, bro, with the tall OJ and pecan waffle. Yeah, with some warm syrup. Don't give me no cold syrup. Warm that syrup up.
I saw
Warm
Rain
syrup.
Man ate pecan waffle.
Anybody else? Because Larry, I appreciate you, Larry, for being very calm and actually discussing football. I appreciate you, sir.
Man, it's too late to be
So,
getting
so
upset.
Larry, the
I'm about
only
to go
one
to
who be
sleep.
discussing football. What you trying
Well,
to
I'm
say?
sorry. No, Coach, thank you as well for discussing football.
I think those were shots at 2 other people, Coach.
Hey,
Oh,
before y'all close it out, which I predict the season gonna be. I say we will at least win like
I'm gonna
11
tell you
games.
what, we're gonna close your volume stick out. Cause boy, your thing is about as low as a damn. I'm just messing with you.
yeah, I didn't hear. What he say? What? So I think I heard what our record gonna
Say
be.
it one more time, big dog.
I was saying, what you think our record gonna be for this season?
Do you
What
got your
our record
hand
gonna
over
be?
the mic or something?
Man,
Is
he
your
sound
hand?
like Kenny from South Park. I can't understand what he's saying right now.
I probably got to log out and come back on. I don't know
Oh,
why.
okay.
He said what's our prediction for the rest of the
11 to 6.
Okay.
At least make it to the
I think we'll be 12 or 13.
I think we're
Okay.
gonna win double digit game, win the South, win the first home playoff game, and the divisional game. Hopefully we'll be ready for that toss up and we'll see who we play. Hopefully it's the Cowboys, we can make them choke again. Hopefully it's the Eagles, we can make them choke again. But the NFC is wide open, baby.
And on that note, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and check out. I want to thank everybody who came up on the panel, man. Great discussion tonight. And this will be the final Waffle House without any Falcons football. So when we reconvene next Friday, we'll actually have some Falcons football content to discuss. So next Waffle House should be pretty good.
I apologize.
2 touchdowns for Penix.
Go ahead.
I would like to apologize to Slim because we could debate, but I didn't want to call him like anything negative. So we can debate, but but I have to do better myself. Even though I felt it and I meant it, I just shouldn't say it.
Hey,
and I have to be better at that. So I apologize for it.
if the shoe fit, don't worry about it.
I felt this fit. I just have to do better of not
Red,
saying it.
hey, Red over there, being Donald Trump. He catching bullets to the ear all night.
Right. I been catching more bullets in the hood, nigga, in Chicago, man.
Yeah, you definitely caught some strays. Before we get out of here though, man, let's go around the panel and shout out your social media, shout out your shows, and let everybody know where they can find you.
I'll be on the eye test. You can find me on the eye test. Shout out to Winston. Shout out to John. Wednesdays, 10 p.m. You can also find me on Planet Earth on in reality, who in a place where people discuss football and not emotions.
Oh my God.
And not discuss how we feel, but actually discuss plays and statistics. That's where you can find me.
Y'all see why we fuck with Keely, man.
Damn.
All right, Coach, you want to go next?
Yeah, man. Y'all know where you can find me. Coach is scoring on YouTube and on Facebook. You know, I'm always around talking my ish.
We're looking forward to the start of the channel, Coach. William, let them know where they can find you at on social media, bro.
On social media, BillWill21 in the scope, on Facebook, William Amy.
Dig it.
I'll translate for you, big dog. On social media, something about one, and on Facebook, William Amy.
All right, Mr. Translator, let them know where they can find you tomorrow morning, man.
Y'all know me, man. Red Road, Facebook, 24/7. I test Wednesday, Keely, Winston, and John. Waffle House Friday with Titus, and on Saturdays mornings, Red and Real Sports Show, 11 a.m. Join us. We'll be there. Thanks, Titus, for having me tonight, big dog.
Anytime, brother. James, you still in the house?
Yeah, I'm here. Just catch me wherever and whenever, because you never know when I pop in and pop out.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
Yes, sir. So just catch me wherever. You may catch me on Waffle House on Fridays and the eye test on Wednesday. That's where I really be at the most, though.
All right, dig it. Winston, you still in the house?
Oh,
Yeah, you about to fell asleep.
catch me.
Yeah, I can't hear.
No. I fought through the jungle. Y'all hear me?
Barely.
It sound like you're in the safari though.
Well, y'all catch me on the access Wednesday with my partner John, Ray, Keegan, the whole gang. Atlanta Bird game on Friday night if I can stay up long enough. On Facebook, on the eye test group and page. I'll be out here.
Dig it. All right, Larry, take us home, please, bro.
Appreciate you letting me come on, talk my talk. Dixon Way, all about the 8 Sports Talk. Me and the beautiful Shonda do live commentary, all our favorite sports teams. Braves on a 4-game win streak. Love to see that.
That's what I'm talking about. Larry.
Need to sweep these fish and then beat the Brewers.
Yep.
Keep these teams off our back, man. But yeah,
top 5 in home runs now, dog.
Man, I just want us to get right and get consistent. That's my main thing. But yeah, you guys can check us out. We do live commentary. We try to do a little something different in this space. Spreading positivity and going crazy during the game. So you guys want to sit back and watch the game with us, you're more than welcome to do it. We own every day pretty much.
You streaming the game Friday, the Falcons game?
Oh yeah. We definitely doing the Falcon game. We're gonna do all the preseason games plus the regular season games. So the only thing that's gonna stop anything, hopefully no playoff games, be scheduled with the Falcon game. Playoff games take precedence, but other than that, yeah. And we are 119 away from 3,000. So we're trying to make that push before the football season starts. So hopefully we can be at 3,000 and get those big gold balloons and put a 3K behind us. So Keep on chucking.
Bow, like Sexy Red say. Hey, but
Appreciate you, man.
No problem. I want to thank everybody on the panel, man, for coming up here Friday. Appreciate y'all. The fellowship, talking this Falcons football. Like I say, man, next week when we come on, we'll be able to talk about the game. So we here, fellas. So just 7 more days, man, and then we'll be able to talk about these birds. But we're officially out of here. Thank y'all for coming on, man. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Peace.
Deuces.